everybody, and welcome to Creature Corner. We are back with some incredible fresh off the presses runs. Today's theme is all runs that came out, well, the games for the runs that came out in the last year. So you may not have seen any of these games at all. You may not have seen the speed runs for these games. They are rapidly changing moment to moment. We've actually got 2 runs tonight that had major tech discovered in the last day. So that is how fast we are moving on these runs. And speaking of these runs, let's check out what we've got on the docket for tonight. We've got Shadow Generations by Sleepy Esther, and this is the first time that GDQ has ever shown off all stages Wings, and that's coming up like really soon, so you do not want to go anywhere for that. And then we've got a game that probably y'all have never seen before. It's called Fragrance Point by Shovel Claws, and it will blow your mind. Do not go anywhere. You're going to want to see that. I kind of stole an awfully silly run for this one, but I promise it's also a really great speed game. And then we've got Hades 2 by Behemoth Steve, and this is a 3-weapon run, but if you saw that run from TDOV, by the way, all of these runners are veterans of our Trans Day of Remembrance celebration. Absolutely incredible. Trans Day of Visibility celebration, sorry. It's actually going to be a lot different than what you saw there, so definitely stick around for that. And then finally, we've got Squirrel with a Gun, another one that could belong on Awfully Silly, but is here as well, and that is going to be by I Swim Fly. Another one that has had major tech discovered in the last day. It looks super different than it did before. So incredibly exciting stuff. Y'all are not going to want to go anywhere. Sit in your chair for the next 3 hours and enjoy these fresh off the presses runs. And we're going to start with Sleepy Esther playing Shadow Generations, all stages, Wings. Fly with it.
Hello, I'm Sleepy Esther, or Esther. Yeah, I'll be playing all stages Wings, which is going through all the main stages of the game, except with Wings, as you can see. Introduce my commentators.
Hi, I'm Lilypad. I'm a fellow all-stage Wings runner.
Hi, I am Ukulele. I am a not fellow All Stages Wings runner. I run All Stages No Wings, so this is going to be interesting.
I'm very excited to see what you have to say.
Yeah, I think we're ready to start with the first level. You'll see I have a low-list timer on the screen, just for leaderboard validity. Yeah, this level, it's the first level. It's also like a lot, so we're gonna have to skim past some things. I'll let my commentators handle this. I need to focus.
So I guess we'll start with a bit of a tech rundown. So for those of you who have seen Shadgen's run before, this will be a little bit different routing-wise, mainly just because we need rings for Wings. So you'll see us throwing a lot of spears when we're in the air. That is called spear gliding. Whenever Shadow throws out a Chaos Spear, when he is locked in the animation, he will maintain all his speed, and it will be maintained near permanently until the animation ends. One thing that you're seeing us do here is abusing a little quirk with mechanics of this one tube that was early in the level. You skim past a physics trigger, which will actually change Shadow's physics, and we can maintain that physics state in a place that we are not supposed to have it. So we can do these crazy things, going out of bounds, absolutely flying over the level. And here we take an intentional death just so that we can reset our physics state, because otherwise we would not be able to make this right turn because Shadow is stuck in a constant state of moving forward. We can nudge him from side to side, but we can't move him in like 90-degree directions.
Yeah, now we are heading into a more relaxed section. It's Radical Highway. I love Radical Highway. Hi, Black Doom.
It's so cool.
Radical
Hi, Black Doom. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Black Doom.
Hi, Dad.
Yeah, so Shadow's dad has come to say hi. He wants to see his cool speedrun. And so I'm going to use this time to kind of explain a lot of the past 2 minutes. Wings, basic rundown, they let you fly. They're essentially this game's replacement of a super form, because this takes place at the same time as Sonic Generation, so he has the Chaos Emerald, so we have Wings instead. General super form things, you need 50 rings to activate it. It drains 1 ring a second. It regenerates your boost when you're on the ground, and because they're wings, the main draw of them is flying. If you hold air boost, you can drain your boost gauge and you can keep flying, and it also allows you infinite air boost, where normally when you're without wings, you'd only have one. So we'll be using that specifically a lot to break the game. It's pretty clear that the game was not designed with that in mind, and we will be making full use of that in this run. One trick you did see me do just before I broke with that tube was something called Insta-Wings. Essentially, activating wings is meant to put you into a short little animation where Shadow has a bit of a headache, he gets his wings, but that's slow. It takes about 1.5 seconds, you can't do much. So what I'll be trying to do is activate wings just as I hit something like a spring or a boost pad, and that can cancel the animation for us. What you saw me do on that building is there's a very, very slight input window when you're out of the cutscene, but just before you land on the sliding section where you can double jump and you can use that to air boost all over the building, skip a bunch. And that's the first level. I promise.
We love party time.
Yeah, that trick is called party time, the building skip, because I'm not sure who said it, but they said it makes me feel like I need a party whenever I hit it. So it's now called party time. And now we're moving on to the second level, Arc 2, which is going to make use of a trick called wing teching. Essentially, because we have infinite air boosts give you a very slight amount of height when you use them, which normally isn't really that impactful, but because we have infinite, we can just keep gaining height. So we're going to be using that. Normally you need to freeze these missiles to get up here, but we're going to wing tech up. And now we're going to wing tech again.
Whoa.
On top of this loop that we're not meant to get on top of. And now
that's a great
we
angle
can just,
for Shadow, I'll say that.
Yeah, fly in 3D.
So you guys like 3D and 2D?
Yep.
This game, especially in Wings, has a lot of sections. Well, actually, pretty much only in Wings, aside from one exception, has a lot of 3D and 2D, because Wings, like you just saw Esther do and explain, wing teching allows you to just get a ton of height, which just completely breaks certain sections and lets us get to places that we're not supposed to get, which takes us out of the 2D trigger, because you're technically always in 3D. The game just shoehorns you into the two-dimensional plane, and it's crazy. It lets us do weird things, one of which you'll see very soon, coming up in a few levels here.
Yeah,
I like to describe Wings as kind of like the unrestricted like glitch category kind of thing. You can do some really cool stuff. You can break this game completely in half, and it's so immensely cool.
Yeah, this game is generally like a micro movement focused game. Wings is very strat focused, very big strat perspective. And you might not believe it now, but that was actually one of the longer 2D levels. Every single 2D level in Wings has a 3D and 2D, and that was one of the least game-breaking ones.
That one was
wow,
only
that was
recently
just a
found
teaser?
too.
Yeah.
I'm not ready.
There's some crazy
recently.
things you can even do in 3D, and this level has something really cool you can do as well. So I'm excited to see how they show that one off.
Yeah.
Do you guys love hedgehogs in space?
We do like hedgehogs in
What
space.
kind of
Like
question
hedgehogs
is
in
that?
space.
Oh, you'll see an astronaut hedgehog soon enough. Don't worry.
Yeah. That 3D and 2D previously was only discovered like 3 days ago, I want to say. Like, it was recent.
It was very, very recently that was discovered. Also, you guys want to see what we can do with Wings? You guys want to see the absolute shenanigans we can pull off here? Just skipping an entire chunk of the level. Wings is completely broken.
The fun stuff about
My
Wings.
goodness.
with Wings and Chaos Spear and wing teching, you can kind of keep your speed in a lot of spaces where you really shouldn't be able to keep it. So like, Esther's keeping way faster speeds by jumping off the rail and wing teching than if like just jumping from a standstill and wing teching around.
There would be a cutscene here where Black Doom shows back up and steals our Chaos Control. I did accidentally enter the Chaos Control trigger, but I still skipped the cutscene, which saves some time. Unfortunately, the only way to hit the checkpoint is to hit the Chaos Control trigger, and for safety, I want to make sure I have that checkpoint.
You guys like space?
Space.
So this trick right here we call the Edgehog Space Program, where you can abuse the automation from that ramp up towards the building with the speed boosters, and it just flings you all the way up to space.
Oh,
honey, sweetheart, don't give me a heart attack like that. Oh my god.
This space has like 80 million different kill planes, so Esther has to kind of carefully weave around them to get back to the actual level. Normally you're supposed to be like free fall diving all the way back down to the level, which is right around here.
Oh, I'm really scared.
I can't
don't
wrap my
like
mind
this.
around this. This is gonna work.
There's the level.
Oh, high
Esther, I
level.
don't like this.
No, we're
Oh,
good.
no,
We're good.
you're
We're
good,
fine,
you're
we're fine, we're fine, we're so fine. Oh, it's
Welcome
so
back
bad.
to level. Yeah, normally
We have landed.
we have landed.
Oh my god.
We have made
Houston, we
contact.
have landed.
We have landed.
What I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be rail swapping. You did see a bit earlier in the level as well. I'll be rail swapping on rails that go downwards because for whatever reason, doing that builds a lot of speed. And now I'm going to avoid this automation and take that speed all the way to the goal. So what we skipped with that Edgehog Space program was missed the goal, right? Was a Radical Highway section where Black Doom showed back up again, said a bunch of stuff, kind of boring, not a fan, so we just skip it.
I love Radical Highway Shadow.
Luckily, the Radical Highway sections are on the same map. The skybox is just decided by position, so it's pretty easy to weave in between the two.
Okay.
Now,
do you guys like I said something before about 2D being completely broken. I don't think that there is a single 2D stage in this game that is not completely broken wide
There
open.
isn't.
So do you mind if I go through
Go for it.
things? So we have a funny little tech in this game that we like to call flings. Automation is really weird and likes to get really, we'll just say fussy whenever you enter it from the wrong angle. So if, say, we were to, I don't know, enter a section of automation in a way that we were not supposed to, we'd be able to bug out the automation in a way that just sends us upwards.
Oh, that's high. This is higher than I'd like.
This is really high, but
You can
but we
save
have
it.
wings. Normally, in any percent or stages no wings, this would be completely unrecoverable. But wings lets you do something just like this.
I can hear the salt
I
in
don't know
later.
Whoa! Why are you
we're
all the way
okay.
over here?
We're okay, I think.
Where are you? What happened?
Are we okay?
The stage is to the right.
The yellow world.
Esther, go to the rail, go to the rail, go to the rail.
I'm stuck in
Oh,
It's fine, we let
close.
Shadow die. Unfortunately, there's no death planes out here, so we'll have to go again. And luckily, there's a fail-safe. If you don't do anything in the air for 10 seconds, you just die. I'm gonna try that again, but without the wings this time. This is what we wanted.
Oh,
There you go.
beautiful.
That's much better.
Yeah,
Let's
and
go, Esther.
I feel the obligatory shout-out. That setup for the fling was discovered by Layla herself. Everyone
Let's
in
go.
chat say
Let's
thank you, Layla.
go.
Thank you, Layla.
Layla. That was beautiful.
I'm just saving everyone the headache of early game consistency, you know.
Yeah, that trick is it was and still is a massive run killer at any percent. And now we got Bio Lizard. Compared to the rest of the run, I don't have nice things to say about this boss.
Do you guys like 2.5 minutes unskippable cutscenes?
This unfortunately,
Yeah.
I will take this over SA2 Bio Lizard.
Yeah.
I spent like an hour trying to kill it on my casual playthrough before. It was like the day before.
It took you an
Shadow
hour? It
Games
took
came
me a
out.
month.
We do have a very
Okay.
slight amount of source, again discovered by Layla. It's just
Okay, one
position
of them
manipulation.
was- yeah,
I'll let you explain.
For as much as I dislike BioLizard, there is some source. I have warmed up to him a little bit. So after this cutscene right here, if we Bylizard will try to turn to track us when he slams his goop fists on the ground. Don't read too much into it. So turning him around will make his other hand more over the platform than it normally would be. And no matter what, we have the homing attack for hands to advance the fight, but the hitbox for them is always active, not just when you're on the ground. So if you chaos control at the right time, you can hit it early.
Oh.
So
normally you have to
Very nice.
normally you have to wait for him to
drop
punch
you
again.
in the water, I think.
That is also possible without turning him, but his other fist would be above the water, which, depending on your PC specs and how well your game runs the PC, if you get a lag spike when Shadow falls into the water in that cutscene, he will just turn off his collision and fall to his death.
Oh, no.
I thought it was always. I didn't know it was lag.
I thought it was always, but apparently it didn't always happen when people tried it out. So it has to just be a lag spike. So there's some alternate factor that causes you to just sometimes completely randomly go through the water and just fall to your death. It's awful. I can't take full credit for that. That was, I think, discovered by Ryuken. It was something that I saw and couldn't replicate consistently, but found a setup for. It's a very interesting strat, and it just makes Bylizard a little bit more variable, more consistent, less variable. Sorry.
Yeah. It's like
Ooh, here's one of my favorite
skill expression.
Here's one of my favorite little things about this game is it has micro QTs every so often again the boss fight, like punching Bylizard right here. They don't matter. You can literally match every single button on the controller and it just works.
Now.
Yeah, you cannot do anything and it will succeed, but you can save time by literally mashing every button on your controller, including the triggers and the bumpers, and I think if you click on the stick too, but I might be crazy about that one.
How many extra fingers do we need to do that? I'm not sure.
Not too many. Just gotta run your hands all over it. It'll work.
Okay, now it's time for absolute peak. This level doesn't really have like any of the game-breaking skips per se. It's just a lot of micro. I need to give massive thanks to both Mohar and Shax. Those are the two runners that discovered a lot of this routing. It's gonna be amazing. So much wing teching. So much wing
So
teching.
shout outs to Penny Parker with this music.
Yeah.
True. So right there, we do specifically kind of kill some of these enemies so we can get a chaos control. One of the things I don't think we mentioned is when you chaos control, your boost meter automatically refills back to max. So right here, there's this giant chasm right here. Oh, and you're. Oh, I thought you were gonna stop. Panic.
We're good.
If you're flying or wing teching a very large distance, you can use chaos control to immediately get back your boost meter. And since you can infinitely keep air boosting with wings, you can literally just fly over like 89% of the level here. And there's a really. Yeah, there's a gigantic space coming up right in a few moments where we just skip like all of these rails and keep like the speed by jumping off of it. It's insanely cool. But, and I remember the day that you're like, Esther, you told me like, oh, you can just fly over all this. And I was like, you can what?
Time for absolute silliness. You can stand on this wall and just go up.
Yeah, I love Sonic Frontiers. That is a byproduct of the Hedgehog Engine 2, which was first introduced in Frontiers, so we like to call that getting Frontiers, or at least I and my friends do.
Very silly game.
Sonic and Shadow like to cling to geometry and collision when they're walking down slopes, so we can very much so abuse that to boost some unintended angles. Also,
here's that wing tech I was just talking about.
Yeah, this is the big wing tech.
What is the route? What is intended pathing? I don't know.
There's a bunch of like wind rails that spawn in this area that you're supposed to take and like kind of like jump between them to get over here safely. But with wings, we can just kind of fly all the way around it and just not care.
Yeah, that red ring you saw me go into, that sends you at like 90 speed. For reference, normal flight is about 50. So we're going at almost double normal flight speed across like a solid minute of the level. That was Kingdom Valley 1. You can see why I said it was peak. I love this level.
One thing that I wanna say a piece on. Also, shoutouts are That rail gives you apparently slightly more speed than normal boosting, so you could just carry it.
You can try and
onwards.
maintain it, but I messed it up, unfortunately.
One thing that I do want to say is that I really like the skill expression that comes with this game, because it's so interesting, the different settings that you run this game in, that something that is only supposed to stop IGT can be used for RTA. It's so interesting to me.
Yeah. Now, another one of those big game-breaking skips, and this is also relatively easy. You can try this at home.
I love things!
What we're gonna do,
Charlie!
we're gonna double jump and then wing tech twice for the height. We got another sticky shadow, so we can just jump up, out of bounds, fly. Now, normally there's automation down here. You're not meant to stomp into it.
Whoa!
And now we're just going up.
Hey, off he goes.
Like he stepped on a big trampoline.
Yeah. And now we can just fly to the end of the level. There's not really much to this. You just fly to the end of the level.
Also, chat,
yeah.
if this is blowing your mind as much as it's blowing mine, don't worry about it. Just enjoy Shadow breaking through walls and flying through space.
Please stop. Okay.
Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh!
Subminute.
Yeah, sub.
Not gonna lie, you gave me a little bit of a heart attack.
Yeah, I was scared
Esther,
to.
stop doing this to me. I can only take so much, my dying heart.
Now we have Sunset Heights 1.
Yes!
Yeah, Westopolis. Woo, peak song.
You have to have
This
one.
does
If
not
you-
look
if you
like
are running-
Westopolis. Aw.
If you are running Shad Gens, all stages, you by like leaderboard rules, not actually obligated to have one Westopolis on in your stage
yeah.
music.
You've got to bless your ears with this song at least once.
You have to.
There's not much to say about this stage, unfortunately.
Sourceless Heights.
Yeah, well, that's something. The IL run of this level is really cool because with full game, because we're focusing on RTA here, we don't really care about Chaos Control pausing the timer. We just want to use it for boost routing. But in ILs, it's timed using in-game time, so they do care a lot about Chaos Control. So if you compare the routing of an IL run of a level to something you see in any percent or all stages, it's going to be massively different. And this level is an amazing example. Like, you should go give a Sunset Heights 1 IL a watch. It is really cool.
Shout out to Moha.
Shoutouts to all the IL runners as well. They're I can look at like the most complex math equation, and then I look at an IL level and I'm like, oh my god, they are both insanely genius. How do these people do it?
I think my favorite IL run in the game is Sunset Heights 2. That level is genuinely, no wings, the level is genuinely a work of art. There is so much that goes into optimizing it in such interesting ways. So yeah, we'd all highly recommend that you go and watch some IL runs, because they are all radically different to their RTA counterparts.
That should not have gotten a laugh out of me.
It's because it's so unfunny, you don't expect it.
Yeah, we got a Radical Highway section. You remember those tubes we broke in Arc 1? We can't break these. So this is the Deb intended tube experience, which is holding forward. Except you're not actually holding forward. It moves forward for you, so you just hold boost. Oh, okay. I forgot those didn't spawn there. I genuinely have not ran into them.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna pop wings here just to make the bit even funnier. Normally you would have to avoid obstacles, but we have wings, so you guys like holding boost?
There is one way that we can actually make this slightly faster. For some reason, I can't tell you why, if you take damage while spearing and falling onto a damaging obstacle in one of those tubes, you just go zoom.
Yeah.
You go forward at blizzard speed.
They're called zoomies, we don't know why.
Viable.
It's for some reason really difficult on 120 FPS. I'm pretty sure tricks going for runs going for that trick, the optimal FPS is 75. So.
Oh God.
Yeah, but I won't be going for it because 120 FPS is better. This is what I mean by holding forward. Yeah.
Bye, Dad.
Bye, Dad.
Bye, Dad.
Bye, Dad. They wanted to emulate the Sonic Forces experience, and I think they did it pretty well.
Yeah,
There's no double boost, unfortunately.
Here, Shadow, I made you launch.
Stelmo.
Oh.
Shout out to Stelmo, and I quote: "You can take the level out of forces, but you can't take forces out of the level."
True. Now we're on to another peak level, which we won't get to see as much of, because it's 2D. We break it as always.
You're committing the cardinal sin of. You're making the cardinal sin of not having the default music on for this level. I'm so upset.
I forgot to change it.
No,
It's okay.
It's still good though.
I don't think this song is as good as some of the other original.
Well, okay,
songs.
I can yell at you later for this.
Meet me out back to Daddy's.
Oh my god.
So we're gonna have another example of Shadow sticking and going up. I don't even know how to describe this. Just watch. If I can hit it.
So we get Frontiers.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
why that happens. It's 120 FPS exclusive, by the way.
Oh, awesome.
Leonard,
I didn't know that actually.
Now we just fly out of bounds. High 3D control.
Ooh,
We just-
you have
I'll be
enough
fine.
boost, right?
I'll be okay.
Oh.
Yeah, she's good.
Oh.
But she can wing tech back to level.
Okay. Okay.
It's okay.
And yeah, that skips like a minute or 30 seconds.
About
I'd like to say.
Yeah.
You can tell I don't run waves.
You can also just fly over that loop, which is just a smidge slower if you take it. And we can also just fly over all the level terrain right here.
Yeah.
Who
Get that
needs
chaos.
level? I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'm gonna mash jump for a silly skip. I hope I can get. Yep.
There you
If
go.
you
Oh my
mash jump,
God.
there's a
Wait,
very
what?
tight input window where you can jump and retain a bunch of speed. I don't know why it works. I don't know how it works. I just mash jump and hope it goes well.
Why haven't you taught me that? What?
Because I only learned it like 2 days ago. I was like, how are people doing that? I was like, how are people
What?
doing that? And Moho was like, oh, I just mash jump.
Oh my God.
We're learning here at
Yeah, we're
GDQ, on
teaching. We're
GDQ
teaching.
Hotfix.
Now we're on to metal.
I could be
Overlord.
saving half a second every Sunset 2 run.
Well, assuming you hit it, that is. This boss is a lot of the focus is just HP management, really. There's a lot of quick kills that are relatively tight, but you can still get. Our main goal here is to. We've got Doom Surf here, which I never really explained. It's like a manta ray, you spin left to right. That's basically it. Oh, I messed that up. I forgot the jump.
That's not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
But another thing you might have seen in Kingdom Valley Act 1 that I just didn't have time to mention with how cool that level was, is that spinning from side to side, for some reason, retains whatever speed you have. So if you're going really fast and you keep spinning from side to side, you just keep going at that same speed. Do I have enough? Oh, no, I don't have enough for quick kill.
Well, you just have to hit. You just have to hit a couple of the actual ones right here, and then you're fine.
Yeah.
Because it does one section of the
Intended.
hit bar. Yeah.
I think I got.
That's
This is
perfect. That's
very
perfect.
close.
Nice.
If you
This gets it.
Clutch.
in this boss fight, it's kind of a race to get his health bar down to halfway, because the only way you can do damage in the first phase is by hitting like debris in the water. You specifically want to have enough damage so that you can take that chaos control rail, so you can hit him and do like one entire chunk of the bar. If you miss that, you end up losing like, oh my gosh, it's like 30-40 seconds and like essentially another auto scroller where he just attacks you. But instead we skip that and get to here where we just keep spamming the roll.
Yep.
You guys like the right bumper.
Yeah.
That's my favorite
Like
button.
The right bumper.
Also, the left bumper, and by the left bumper, I mean the triangle button, because my binds are broken.
Oh, Esther. Oh,
We don't have time to go over my binds right now.
We're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to talk to you after the run. Look, I'm gonna have to have a serious chat with you.
There's a quick kill here. I don't remember the spin pattern. What's the spin pattern?
Oh god, I'm washed. You can't.
I always just wing it.
Okay, we're winging
Fun.
it. The
right,
goal-
pause,
Yeah, you wanna go
left,
right.
left, right.
There's a
Okay.
big chunk on the right you want to hit.
I don't think no,
If you got that last one,
One of them.
yeah.
the goal
there's-
hit, what you're meant to do is use Chaos Control to homing attack all of those, and if you're in Chaos Control and you homing attack them, get this really cool cutscene. Unfortunately, being cool is slow, so we try and skip it.
Unfortunately, being cool is for nerds.
Yeah,
Wow.
unfortunately. So you can skip it. If I hit one more piece of rubble, I would have skipped it just fine, but I messed it up. It's pretty tough. Luckily, messing up the quick kill and just watching the cutscene normally are tied in terms of time. So it doesn't actually matter. It's something that's always worth going for, but if you can get the quick kill, it saves like 10 seconds.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with both that Metal Overlord and the next boss, they both have like insanely cool like chaos control like final hits that are so amazing but so abysmally slow for RTA that we just don't even take them. And I implore anybody when they play this game just kind of lose their mind at the cool cutscenes, because Shadow the Hedgehog is the coolest fictional character ever made.
That's true.
Also,
That's a fact.
peak spotted.
Peak song.
Not only do we have the best song in Sonic, we also have the best IL in this game. Fight me. I love
Chaos
Chaos
Island
1.
won.
It's so good.
Yeah.
A mountainous
again,
level has peaks. Yeah.
Well, so one of the things that's really cool about all stages is one, you can actually play the levels in any order. You just have to end on the final boss. And the other thing that's really nice over any percent is this game also has like a feature where you can change the level music just like regular Sonic Generations. When you're doing any percent, it sets you to the default music, which is kind of lame. But instead, in all stages, we can set it to whatever we want. So Esther, being based, picked all the cool music.
Find Your
on the
Flame.
Mountainous
So
level.
good.
Yeah, we got another really cool skip right here with wings. There's supposed to be this really big, cool cutscene. Oh my god, Esther, please.
Fine. We're okay. We're okay. Don't stress.
Hey, it's okay.
Normally in like you're supposed to take that rail and just ride it all the way, and it does this really cool cutscene of you winding past the volcano in the background, and it plays like when the beat drops in the song, and it's so cool, and you see the volcano erupt in the background. But instead with wings, we can just say "ha, lame," and we just kind of ignore it and fly around it, and it's really cool.
And what you saw me do just before that is I jumped off the rail just after the booster, because that booster gave me like 90 speed, I think it was.
Yeah.
So we use that to retain the speed. And here what we're doing,
That's
one
the
thing about
wing
wing
teching. I like wing
teching I should mention is that flying normally puts you at 50 speed, whereas ground boosting is 60 speed, which normally there wouldn't be much you could do about that because you have to leave the ground to start flying. But you can use spears and then repeated wing techs to keep that 60 speed for really, really long. So there's normally a big platforming section, you deal with the Black Arms enemy, but we can just wing tech over it. Very cool. I love wing teching. And now we're on to Chaos Island 2. This is the second least broken. Yeah, that like kind of makes sense. It's pretty broken
Good
for
job,
a 2D.
Esther.
It's pretty broken, but it's not as broken for the 2D levels compared to everything else. There is an out of bounds here. What we're gonna do, so they forgot to put an invisible wall there, so we can just fly back. And they forgot to extend the death plane, so we can just go past, and now we're out of bounds. High out of bounds. We can just fly past. Use a chaos control for distance. I'm gonna wing tech for height here, and now we are back in the level.
There you go.
Wow, clean.
That one is really scary. That one's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's the annoying thing about that one is that there's a death plane. You can still die after you enter 3D. It's just like you have to have a very slight delay between entering 3D control and actually moving, otherwise you will hit the death plane. But luckily I was able to avoid it, and yeah, that's the final 2D level of the run. Because the main structure of the game is Act 1 is a 3D, Act 1 is a 2D, but we've been through most of the stages now. All we have is Mephiles and then the 2 Radical Highways, which are both 3D, and then
As if
Devil
we didn't
Doom.
get enough Radical Highway.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
love
so
Radical
cool.
Highway. I mean, there is a reason they call it Radical Highway. It's so radical. Now it's time for
Yeah.
Peak Boss. I'm gonna bonk him early because it makes him attack earlier, and I'm gonna try and do some position manipulation here. He's gonna.
pretty much
I
have
just
to-
descended when I heard the music.
Oh yeah. Oh, I messed it up.
Oh, that's okay.
The plan here, he's essentially like bouncing off the walls, and after a certain amount of bounces, he'll drop that little morph orb, which is Badoom morph, which is the little goopy guy. It's like Splatoon. Yeah. So we want him to drop the morph orb to attack him, but he only does that after a certain amount of bonks on the wall. And you can try and position manipulate him to bonk like back and forth on the wall, but I didn't get it, unfortunately. It's pretty tight. I call it geometry strats because it's like the only thing I've seen my secondary school geometry classes be useful for. I don't know what I'm doing here. I meant to bonk him in
whoa.
there.
What was that?
What was that? Yeah, that was
What
really funny.
that? Genuinely, what was that, huh?
Normally, you kind of have to babysit this boss a lot, and one of the things that you do is normally with like the main attack you're supposed to do called Doom Blast, which is where you punch him a whole bunch. You're supposed to like hold the button and then you throw him into these orbs for the fight. You're supposed to do it a couple times, but we can kind of just take advantage of the fact that if you just mash it, you just do a little bit of damage, and Mephiles just kind of stands there for a little bit. So you can just do
it in the face.
Yeah, you just gotta punch Mephiles a whole bunch of times and then throw him at a rock, and then you're supposed to be able to throw him at another rock and immediately get to the second
Shout
phase.
out to Moha.
Yeah, we
Shout
got
out to Moha.
intentional damage here to damage the enemy quicker. Yeah, and what I'm gonna do now is you're meant to chaos control, hit these clones, and enter a cutscene. But what I want to do is I want to hit 4 of the clones and then chaos control so that I can skip the cool chaos control cutscene, which is unfortunate because it's a really cool cutscene, but it's slow. It's similar to Metal Overlord, except it's much easier.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that you're running
and this
in
part
German.
plays as the beat drop for the song.
Also,
This boss is so cool.
Esther is running this in German, and I'm so not used to the German dub.
Oh,
Hey, you want to know something really funny?
I read Mephiles in German, and it was so
Wait,
whiplash.
Layla, you want to know who the voice actor for Mephiles is in English?
It's someone from Persona.
Yeah, it's Robbie Damon. It's Goro Akechi. That blew my mind.
Awesome.
We're on
crossover.
to Radical Highway 1. We're going to be messing with the gravity here a little bit.
This level is so messed up.
This level is so good.
Well, you're a little too far to the right over there.
You make it. Trust. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
Wings
cool
cutscene,
cutscene.
L.
it's not unskippable, actually. I didn't want to skip it because it's
Yeah,
unsafe.
Yeah.
You can land on top of the building and skip that entire cutscene right there. So like any percent completely skips it. Also, they don't even get wings in 80% anymore, which is wild.
Yeah, you're
but
welcome for that, by the way.
since we're playing with wings, we kind of want the wings because it instantly sets your rings to 50, and there's not nearly 50 rings in that early spot. So we just grab those wings right there just so we can fly over a bunch of stuff. And now here's the craziest part.
Yeah, you
We're gonna jump out this. We're gonna jump out this loop right there, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of line ourselves up. We're gonna line ourselves up right here and land right in the middle of the spline, and we're gonna fling ourselves all the way, basically almost to the end of the level. You can fling yourself to the very end of the level. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Uh-oh.
What just
Okay.
happened?
We're okay.
Okay. Cool.
Oh,
You
Esther,
see-
don't do this to me.
That can actually go to the end of the level. It's
We call that
surprisingly
God Fling.
consistent with wings. Yeah, we call it God Fling. I'm not gonna go for it here, obviously, because it's difficult. But if you look at any Radical Highway, I'm gonna keep telling everyone to look at ILs. Radical Highway 1 IL, it's very cool.
Shoutouts to Moha.
Shoutouts to Moha, shoutouts to Zans. I think it's
Shoutouts
Moha
to
and Zans
Zans.
with world records, I think.
Yeah.
Xanth is like
I
sub-minute,
remember-
I think now.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm so washed that I completely forgot that Red One Fling exists.
Okay, I'm not gonna question it. And now we're on to Rad 2, which has a pretty big out of bounds at the start.
I love this level.
Yeah, this level
But
is
also,
amazing.
Rad
It's
2, my
peak.
beloved.
My
No.
beloved.
This is my beloved. Okay, so we can just like jump off this
You guys
rail
like
and
buildings?
yep, land on the building out of bounds, and then just like
Oh, what is your boost management? Oh,
I'll be fine. Don't stress.
Yeah. You can skip this entire. Okay, you're going for it. I thought you were just gonna land on the highway. This is above like the actual level.
Okay, no, you are fine. You are fine. Never mind.
good.
Yeah, now we're back onto the actual pathway for the level. So we just skipped over like a good 30 seconds. I want to say
This
maybe 25. I don't remember.
has killed so many runs for me. Oh my god. I didn't get these things down.
We're gonna pop wings, and we're just gonna go underneath the level for a few seconds and get back in bounds again.
Every time I'm
Unfortunately,
like, oh,
this
wait,
is one of those levels
that's
with
not-
global
that's not the
cycles.
path, and then, you know, Esther knows where she's going. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now there is normally automation here, but I can just. Oh, never mind. I got stuck
I
onto it.
completely. Okay, this is where my no wings knowledge is coming in, because like every single time I watch an any percent run and I join someone's chat, I'll be like, hey, how's it going? 5 minutes will pass.
Uppies.
They start arc 2, and then I get jump scared. Also uppies.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
because those rails are upside down, if you switch off at the right time, you keep the upside down gravity for a little longer than intended, so you just get uppies.
Yeah, we're gonna do it again right at the end of this rail right here. Normally you're supposed
so
to fly
good.
across this entire section, but we can just whee and get a little bit of extra height and then just wing tech all the way to the end of the level, essentially.
Speed
Yeah.
grinding
And back
is
and bounce.
amazing in this game.
Yeah,
It
you
allows for so much.
can skip the cutscene with shadow boosting on the twisty road thing, but it's pretty tight and also pretty unsafe because the death is not great. So I didn't go for it. The checkpoint's relatively far, and now we're at the end of the run. We have Devil Doom.
Wow. Already.
Yeah, we
Yes, Esther.
yeah we have undefeatable because of course we do, which leads to a pretty funny ending. The cutscenes don't like having custom music. This first phase is basically just Metal Overlord again. You wanna spin into these. What are these?
Rocks. They're just like rocks.
I'm calling
Laser
them
rocks.
meatballs.
They are kind of just
Meatballs.
meatballs.
Yeah.
Laser meatballs.
So Shadow is really mad. He's beating up Doom. This first
He's
phase.
beating up Dad.
Yeah.
The one
they're having
time he
a civil
comes to one of our
dispute.
games, and he still messes it up.
Yeah. But first time he's been here in 19 years? Yeah.
No, 20. It was fine.
Yeah.
That is the
No,
definition
sorry,
of going
wait,
to the
19
supermarket
years, close
and not
enough.
coming back. Like,
I kind of forgot that this game came out in 2024 and it's 2025 now, so I had a bit of a moment.
Yeah, so that phase wasn't really too much. We just gotta make sure we don't miss any of the meatballs. This phase is really cool. This is Doom Morph, it's Splatoon again. Something I forgot to mention
Splatoon.
in Mephiles and in Chaos Island 1 is that with Doom Morph, you can do this little ink boost thing, and if you jump just at the start of it, you get a massive speed boost. So you can just jump
I
all
love
the way.
Unleashed.
beautiful.
That's so cool. You are normally supposed to take a bunch of springs and whatnot to get to Black Doom's face, but just like that. But you actually are just able to jump to his face at all times. It has a hitbox, and you're able to skip all of the platforming. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's destroying some platforms, so he's making some of the fast cycles a bit hard to do. So it's much easier and much simpler to just take the safer strats. But that is pretty much the end of Devil Doom, unless we get Savick here. The rest of the fight is just an auto-scroller.
Yeah, we do have wings here. I forgot to mention earlier, but the bosses don't actually allow the use of wings, which isn't really that impactful because you were never going to get 50 rings in them anyway, but they aren't allowed at all in the bosses. But here, we get forced into them. Even no wings runs have to use wings here.
All stages, one wing.
Yeah, all stages.
They have to
wing.
gaslight into not thinking we use wings anymore.
Yeah.
Even if
You
you
see-
literally do not have the power-up, even if you skip the power-up, it forces you into wings.
You see,
So-
my degree in running all stages no wings also comes with a professional gaslighting degree.
Oh my god.
The main
this
goal
boss
of
fight's-
this phase is just spinning into those tentacle thingies. With the wing sidestep, just sidestep into them, which normally you would have to time, but also if you just mash right sidestep, it does all of them for you. I wish I was joking. What was that? Okay.
Whoa, what was that?
But avoid the head thing.
The head tracks where you are, so just be on the move constantly.
Yeah, and if you get hit by them, it just completely skips. Either skips or like cuts you off very early on trying to hit those little blue whippy woos. I don't know what else to call them.
Tentacle thingies, I don't know.
Yeah, but
That's what
in order to do some like actually good damage to this boss fight, you have to hit those things back at him, which does a tiny bit of damage. But if you do enough of them, he kind of like gets stunned for a minute, and you can just go up and punch him in the little meatball. And we're actually getting pretty much to the end of it, so we're just gonna do this.
That's pretty much the end of the run. Time will be coming up soon on the final hit of Devil Doom.
Yeah, there's a mash square QTE. When that's complete, that's time.
Yeah,
so I'll count down.
That's the run.
Yep, that's the run.
That was incredible. I'm gonna need a little while to recover.
Oh yeah, here's where the music goes a little funny.
Right,
it just restarts now.
In 3, 2, 1, time.
GG!
Oh my god, that's
GG Esther.
GG.
And the big stomp.
Yeah, here's where the cut. Here's where the cutscene music also gets really funny, because if you listen close, so during cutscene music, it just starts again here.
Yeah,
for some reason,
you guys
and it's just really weird.
Oh, you know,
yeah,
it's
so
fine.
I'll take this time to do my GDQ obligated shilling. Yeah, I Sleepy Esther on all platforms, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, unfortunately. If you want to learn wings, I posted about, I want to say a month or two ago, a 47-minute commentary guide going through basically everything you've seen in this run, and even some stuff I didn't get to show. So if you want to learn, that's where I would go. It's on my YouTube, just Sleepy Esther. If you have any questions, feel free to join the Shadow Generation speedrunning Discord server. You can find it on speedrun.com. You can literally just ping me. I'm always happy to help. I love this category. I love helping people learn this category. It's great. Yeah, I want to give a big thank you to, obviously, my commentators. They're amazing. Also, to the entire Shadow Generation speedrunning community, amazingly nice people. Moha is the current world record holder in, I think, 2 or 3 categories. He has world record in this category. He's amazing. He unfortunately couldn't be here today, but he's an amazing runner. You should go watch his runs. Alpha Dolphin as well. He did any percent at AGDQ. He helped me with the submission video for this, so he's the reason why I'm here. Big thank you to him. And yeah, that's it. Do you have anything else you two want to say?
I just want to hop in and say, I want to give a huge props to you, Esther, because I've been like seeing how much you've been prepping for this run, and it's incredible, and you've done so much work, and I just want to say good job, because that was amazing, and I just want to give you your proper dues, because I'm really proud of you. And also, if we have time, we might want to do something.
What was RTA?
RTA was 4302. If you'd like to get right into it, you can do that strat right now while Lily has shoutouts.
So, I kind of lied about Arc 1. There is an incredibly marathon unsafe skip, which I didn't go for, but I'm going to attempt it now. That Radical Highway section with Black Doom, Wings does not have to play it. So, the start is the same, just making sure we grab as many rings as possible. I'm gonna try and play this as safe as I can, because it's very difficult. Try and get into the wings. Yep.
Oh,
nice.
my goat.
Then we're gonna get the glitch on the tube. Now, this is generally pretty similar. I'm gonna be playing a pretty slow route, because I need as many rings as I can get. So, essentially, that broken tube that we're using, in midair, it can generate a lot of speed. So much speed, in fact, that you can use it to skip the entirety of the Radical Highway section. Now, you might be like, wait, 40 minutes ago, Layla said you can only go forward. So how do we get around that? Essentially, now this is the difficult part.
There are more than one
You
tube
can-
here,
you're
so
so
you
good!
you
So
touch.
good.
There's a lot of tubes in this level,
Off of
so
that
you
tube. Yep. I'll let
Yeah, you
Lily
can touch onto
try.
the
He's the
tube.
real astronaut. Wow.
Yeah, you can. Essentially, what happens is if you can touch onto that tube, you can actually forego your own tube physics, which tries to just continuously push you forward. So that's how we can just take all that and just kind of keep flinging ourselves across the level. As you can see, there are the spinny buildings from the actual level. We're just going completely over it.
The big thing here is that you lose tube physics, but you keep the speed, so you can take all of this just to go all the way to the end of the level. And if Esther's lined this up just right,
There you go. And the black dude just shows up.
Yep.
you're so good.
I do not have an
Incredible.
average.
What a bonus.
Yep.
Oh my god! I
And-
love Sleepy Esther.
That was a slow version. If you want to see a fast version, I have I think it's the LRT World Record or RTA World Record on my YouTube. Go watch that. It's really cool.
Oh yeah, and Shadow just slides across the ground at the end of it.
Yeah.
It gets kind of funny because it
What?
wants to throw you into an automation at the start of it and said, "Oops."
Yeah, and
Let's
that's
go, Esther.
that's everything I have for
Beautiful.
you. It was amazing being on here. Amazing experience. Very glad I could be here. Very glad I could have my amazing commentators on here. Very good show as well. I'm very excited to see the other runs that are going on. I'm sure we've got more exciting things to come, like Squirrel with a gun. What kind of pitch is that title? I'm excited.
Absolutely.
about
Well,
all I
that
have.
was that was incredible. Thank you for showing off the run and that bonus destruction, truly, of that level. You were all absolutely wonderful. We're going to take a quick break while we wait for our next run, Fragrance Point by Shovel Claws. Good ending to be ready. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Creature Corner, the GDQ Hotfix show that shows off games that primarily feature non-human protagonists or player characters. Coming up, we've got Fragrance Point, but real quick, before we start that, I want to get some hype for Summer Games Done Quick 2025, which will be live in Minneapolis from July 6th to 13th. Register to attend the event by May 26th. Use !SGDQ in Twitch chat or visit GamesDoneQuick.com for more information. We want to see you there. We want to see everybody watching. It's going to be hype. But you know what else is going to be hype? This is Fragrance Point, Good Ending by Shovel Claws, the brand new world record holder as of just a couple of hours ago. So, I don't even know how to intro this run. Just go ahead and watch it.
You're telling me, man. Hi everyone. My name is Shovel Claws. This is Fragrance Point. Yep, that's the best you're getting out of me tonight. This game is a very strange little indie Metroidvania open world exploration platformer mystery game. Those are all genre labels, and I don't think a single one was accurate. But that's okay. I have someone else joining me on commentary tonight, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Ashley. I'll be commentating today. Like Shovelclaw said, Fragrance Point is definitely one of the games of all time. You're probably going to see some colors and shapes you've never seen before during the course of the run. And it has such good movement that after my first casual playthrough and getting 100% achievements, I decided this game is too good to stop playing, so I guess I'll just become a speedrunner now. And that's how Fragrance Point became the first game I ever speedrun. So anyway, yeah, I love this game so much, and I'm very honored to be able to share it all with you today, and I cannot wait to get started.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Tonight we're doing good ending. We'll explain what that means as we get started, but it's the good one, I guess. We're gonna get started on skipping this tutorial section at the start, so I'll count us down, but just prepare yourself, get ready. In 3, 2, 1, go. And welcome everyone to Fragrance Point, the ship in space, the spaceship, many are saying, not the game, because we, suffice to say, are in outer space. You saw the game, look at it. Of course we are. This game, like I said, kind of a Metroidvania, so we start out with a few abilities, and throughout the game we're going to get more abilities, and we'll use those abilities to gain access to new locations. We play as this weird-looking heart machine. That's a reference, all right. And this guy comes equipped with a jetpack booster and the ability to jump. Yep, platformer. That's your platformer right there. I'm gonna go for something here where I'm going to jump out of bounds and then over these little bumpers and talk to our new best friend who is starting his first day on the job. I'm sure it'll go great. And just like that, we're into the next section. This is what I call the port, the main area of the game. This has 3 branching paths, and we're going to explore all down it. And as you see, I have this little wheel that I pull up every now and then that has 2 abilities on it. Those are the first 2 abilities we start with: talking to people and shooting lipstick out of our face. You know, the 2 essentials. And we just got our 3rd little collectible thing there, required for good ending. It's called the Whim Nest, and it's going to allow us to grab the collectible that we need in order to get good ending. We'll talk about getting good ending later on. There's a lot to this game that we have to go through. 2 loading zones real fast. This is just to spawn in the next objective real fast. And we'll get down into the sewers. Honestly, probably where this thing belongs. And I have to focus on this next split, actually, because this one's really hard. So I'll let Ashley explain some of the movement and stuff we're doing down in here. Just gotta follow mom down.
So right now, all those urchins fell down into the sewers, and we have to collect them all. And the way that we're going to do that really quick is doing something that we call lipstick boosting, which you'll see here in a sec. Basically, for some reason, whenever you shoot this lipstick, it makes you go way faster than the devs ever intended. And this is pretty crucial tech to the speedrun. Without it, you can really get some speed with this thing. It's also super useful for pushing around these little urchin things. But the big use is that you can just go wicked fast.
That was very good movement there. I have not gotten movement as good as that before. This is also worth noting that this is the hardest split in the game. These urchin guys do not like behaving. For example, there. We'll see. Hopefully we won't soft lock or anything.
Not like anything like that has happened before.
Never,
It looks at the camera like on The Office. Like that won't happen.
But after we push all 8 of them together, they will explode and give us the ability to spawn homunculi. Or I guess it spawns almonds, which in turn spawn homunculi. And we're going to use this to collect our first
circle of
win.
life.
Yeah, it's quite beautiful, isn't it? Our first win is... It's a long story, but you know what? We can worry about it on our second one. What we're going to do now, we have a bunch of really cool movement. I bet you guys weren't expecting a game from 2025 to have wrong warps. We're going to enter this loading zone, hit the restart button on our main menu, and we're going to warp to the other side. Don't ask me why that works. You're going to hear that a lot. It just does. It's extremely strange, but yep, we use it to skip a lot of movement. And now we're invading Coco Melon Studios. This is the actual lore of the game. This is not a joke, as much as I wish it was. This studio puts on a children's entertainment program, and we're gonna mess things up. Oh god, I should probably not look away.
There's so many creatures on my screen right now. I don't even know.
This is the most creature game you could have on your show.
I was actually going to say that, Claus. I was like, this might be the most creature game that I've ever had.
We figured out. We figured out what kind of game it is of all time.
It's the creature.
That's awesome. But we're going to defeat Coco Melon, and that's going to unlock a new area for us by going back to the function. We arrived here earlier, but this time we actually are able to do the thing that we need to do here. This big beetle guy covers this wormhole that we need to take, and he won't move until that children's educational program is destroyed, which, you know what? Good for him, I guess. But now that he's up, we're gonna defeat all the worms in the wormhole. No, it's not like a space travel thing. It's like they're just worms down here, man. This is another one of those like surprisingly difficult splits. But that actually went pretty well. Oh, Andy spawned right here. Big Mother Worm gonna give us our gift for destroying all the worms. The Worm Blade. Did you catch all that? This is gonna be on the test later, so I hope you did.
I assure the GDQ viewing audience that there will be no test. At this point.
Well, maybe not on GDQ, but that's okay. Your test is to go to the Steam page. Also, ignore the big jump there. That's a tool that helped us once now and will help us later. But essentially, we just used it to collect another one of those big collectibles, which honestly we can probably talk about now, Ashley, if you want to talk some about what the whims are.
Yeah, so basically the whims are the collectible that differentiate the good ending from the bad ending. When we get way towards later in the game, if you have all 9 whims, then you are able to beam your consciousness into cyberspace to beat the final boss. Normal stuff. Typical stuff.
Average. Here, we're back in Coco Melon Studios to ruin another person's day. This guy just applied for a job and, ooh, looks like he has been fired. We didn't have anything to do with this at all. So we gotta go talk to him and, help him out, I guess. And afterwards, we're gonna meet the main antagonist of the game, a different person. You'd be surprised. This guy... You know what? Ashley, you seem to know more about this guy than I did.
Which is kind of overselling it. I think he's a human, and you might say, there's no way, because of the way he looks.
I said that. I'll say it.
But in the bad ending, if you read the dialogue, it seems like the subtext is that he is a human who's put his body into like this weird little machine to live forever or something. It's really confusing. I don't know.
All right.
Look, I didn't pretend to understand the story of this game when I played it. All I know is that we're here investigating things and often making them worse, which is all I care about. And also doing it with cool movement. So, But we're gonna, after that, come over to the generator here, which is one of the very few areas that we only come to get a whim. There are 3 of these areas, and they're the next 3 we're going to visit. This entire route got rerouted earlier today, and we moved the generator up to here. Also, yes, the stream is just going to do that. Don't worry about it. I don't know why, but it should be okay. We need to push this guy in front of the door, if you would be so kind to cooperate, and voice activate this door by talking to the other guy. He fell for our tricks. And then hit the big red button. And this does nothing bad. Do not worry about it. And then grab our whim. That is the one thing we come here for. Unfortunately, we also need to grab this upgrade here. This upgrade allows us to shoot electricity and then a bit of movement to get out. Gonna raise this little platform and do a skip at the top here to skip another moving platform. Very convenient. But yeah. Satan, you've seen this game before. Do you understand anything?
No. I have a question for you, though,
okay.
from chat. Chat asks, is the heart thing riding a mech? Or is the mech also a creature? I don't know. I've seen it plenty of times.
Satan, do you think I know the answer to that?
It can be just a thing to think about together.
I'm not completely sure, because in the main game, you definitely can pick up, you can pick up, customizable cosmetics that look like the rest of you.
That is true.
But I don't know where the you starts and the clothes stop,
That is a banger quote. I accidentally went back into the loading zone, and thankfully we weren't paying attention to my gameplay. But what I'm trying to do here is a really interesting out of bounds. That was almost perfect. But we're gonna climb up on this little side here, and then hole in 1, hole in 2, and then wrong warp by hitting the restart button, and that warps us into this elevator. For some reason, I don't know why it does this. I told you the first time we did it. I don't understand. That finding wrong warps was a happy accident, and I was okay with that. But now we're in the office, and this is where we are going to start our 9 to 5 of walking on a treadmill. What did you think this thing did for a job? Look at it.
Yeah, that's about one of the things it can do.
And now it's time for bed. All right, good night, everyone. We do have to harass our boss a little bit. Gonna push him over this way. This is to manipulate him to walk towards... I'm so sorry. That is Gore, my comfort character. Discomfort character, actually, thinking about it now. And that guy gives us an ability to shoot coins. Yep.
Payday.
I am
it's
rich,
back.
the richest, some are saying. The only reason we come here is to grab a win. I told you there'd be a few of these areas. This is one of them. But we also have to come here to make it nighttime in Fragrance Point, because otherwise it is day forever. And now that it's nighttime, you know, we've had this good friend of ours who's lost his job. And he's looking for a new job. And unfortunately for him, he has resorted to scamming us. And so we're going to go get scammed real fast. But don't worry, this has good outcomes and is also required for the good ending. No, that isn't a joke. So what we're going to do is shoot a single coin at him, because I'm greedy, and then look at the stars, except just kidding, not stars. He is scamming us. I love getting scammed. And that is going to get him into a security position for the spaceship. No, that isn't a joke. Yes, this is required to beat the game in a good way, actually. And we're going to grab one of our last whims. We have a few more to go. And, you know, hopefully we can not do the thing that I do every time. Watch this drive. Hold up. Success! Let's go! First try. That is so much better than it looks.
Nice.
I have to hit that syringe because it opens the brain core. Do you understand yet? No? Okay.
I feel like I'm
tried.
getting further and further away every time.
Really? You think?
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. Yeah, so we're in the brain of Fragrance Point now, because of course this thing has a brain. Again, the only reason we come here is for the win, which is at the top here. We need to do platforming good first, but you know, that's okay. We're gonna climb on up here and not talk to the guy that gives us missiles, because I didn't know that you could do that. Thank you, Ashley, for telling me earlier. Where is this guy? All right, I think I'm at the right out-of-bounds spot. I am not at the right... It's over here. This is why I talked to him. To get lined up. It was all a strat. Ooh, and I was too low. That is unlucky. What we're doing there is an out-of-bounds, and we're trying to launch ourselves over to where the whim is, kind of hiding in that little tube there. This jump is so much harder than it actually looks. And you know what? Maybe this is a good time to mention, this game is just difficult. Like, you would not expect it, but I fell out of bounds again. That is a crazy.
That's tragic.
That's okay. But yeah, this game is, like, surprisingly difficult. You wouldn't expect it. Like, it looks like it wouldn't be, especially with the aesthetics, but, like, the movement, a lot of the time you will go too fast for your own good. It is so hard. Okay, watch this drive. There we go.
There we go.
And now we're out.
First try.
Yep. That was the first one. All right. Okay. Platforming. There we go. Okay. Yep. You know what? That's what going inside my brain feels like most of the time. So, you know, lesson learned. Anyways, now that we've skipped the brain, or I guess gone through the brain, you're going to do the biggest skip in the game. If you've played this game casually, which you haven't, don't lie to me, you haven't. And I know you haven't. But if you play this game casually, you'll learn that there's a boss fight in the brain that you're supposed to go do. And, we're not going to do that. So what we're going to do instead is do something in this area that essentially is a super bounce. It gives us like a ton of height. We should name it that. That would be a good movement trick name. Essentially just jump on those bounce pads. Whoa. And then it'll give you a ton of height. And we use that to get out of bounds. And we're back at the main area of this of the game, where now we can do a little bit of whim cleanup. And that's all we really need to do here. Go off into the distance, grab that guy, and then come into this secret little area here, grab that guy. And then that is our final whim. And look at them up on the side there. Aren't they all beautiful? Throw back to the start of the run where I jumped through a roof. I'm going to try to do that again. There we go. Yay. Wow, everything. The circle of life is so beautiful, isn't it?
The many, many shapes of life, I feel, in this game.
Shapes and colors. Don't forget the colors. The colors in this game are very important.
They are.
And now we're going to get into the actual big skip of the run. Ashley, if you'd like to explain what I'm going to try to do here. We'll see if I get it first try.
Yeah, so basically, usually in the game, you would do the boss in the brain called the brain drill, and that would open up this whole different section. You'd do like a security chase. We're not going to do all of that. There's actually this like little grate that is used as like an anti-soft block measure in a normal playthrough, but we can just use it to get out of bounds and go straight to the final part of the game. So that's this.
Oh, I barely slipped off of the trigger.
No!
That's so sad.
That's tragic.
That's okay. It took me a few tries to get the Subaru bounce, which is weird. That's usually not the part you fail at in this trick. That's the part you fail at in
Yeah,
this trick.
that's the hard part.
But very good skip. Ashley found that one was like, I've never speedrun anything, and then cut 7 minutes off of the bad ending time when this game released. Yeah, not a speedrunner, though. Definitely not.
If you
I
can do
haven't. I'm
anything
honest.
fast, you're a speedrunner. Ashley, sorry to break it to you. You're part of the club.
Yeah, so true. But we're going to end off this run in this big laboratory. We're in the final part of the game now with all of our whims in tow. Perfect. I love them all. They're all so weird. But we're going to stand in this part of this long train ride to manipulate a spawn of an enemy. That's about it. We have a little bit. I'm glad everyone is reacting to how this game looks, because that's how I reacted to how this game looks.
Yeah, it definitely does not get old.
It doesn't. This game is going to be timeless, and I'm going to be in my 60s like, did you remember Fragrance Point? You should play that game.
I think everyone
When the
who sees
video
this tonight
essay-
does remember this game and will.
Good. All right, sick movement. I went a little bit too early. You can launch yourself out of the front of the train here because the glass breaks. And you can do it very fast, but it's pretty hard. And what do you know? Our good friend here, who lost his job and is now going to break security clearance in order to overthrow the authority on this ship. I love to see it. But first, we have a mini boss. A second one. Yay! This one's a little bit harder, so I'm going to actually try to focus. And actually, if you want to explain this one for me, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah, so basically, there's going to be this guy that spawns in this electric cage, and whenever you run into him, as you can see, he gets dizzy, and after about a second of being dizzy, he becomes vulnerable. There's a lot of really annoying parts about this fight. Specifically, if he gets interrupted in his dizzy state, he will become undizzy, and you have to do it again, and he can get stuck on the walls, and it's usually, sometimes, really, really frustrating. But this looks like a pretty good go at it.
I think I have to spin it. Nope, never mind. Okay. That was pretty good. That was actually very good. That I only really had... Okay, never mind. He's dancing around me. He's dancing around me, everyone. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's pretty good, honestly. I'm going to go for a sick oob that could kill the run. All right, it didn't. All right, and now we're at the end of the game. Kind of. We're coming into the finale. We're gonna use this guy's abilities of being powerful, I guess, to break into this door, and that's where we're going to enter cyberspace. Yep, the final stretch of this game is all a dream in the internet or something. I don't know.
This wasn't.
Yeah.
This all happened in the physical
Yeah.
world. Just a news flash.
Right, of course. We're gonna use the Dragon Balls here to go Super Saiyan. I don't know, I've never watched that show. I don't like how some of these guys are looking at me though. Like, don't like it. This guy right here got big eyes. Kind of like
They're all
rock with it
different.
though. Yeah, they're all different. Isn't that
They
so
are
cool?
all
I noticed
different.
that earlier today, and I was like, they're all different. That's so cool.
This game is very
All
detailed.
right.
It really is.
I know, it's very strange.
Yes.
And welcome to cyberspace, everyone. This is where we're going to finish up this run. What we do here is turn the game from a parkour game into a menus game. So we're just going to go through some menus real fast. Don't ask what any of this means or does, because I can't tell you. All I know is that it activates the final boss when I click all the menus. Yep. Time will be coming up shortly-ish, maybe in a minute or so. So, get ready on that if if tech is still feeling okay. I know this. I'm sure this has been stressful for you, Richard. But yeah, we're gonna run through it. This is end of the game. All right, this is how this game ends.
So just as if you've been enjoying this and you want to sort of, hang out with us and find more absurdity, you can join the official GDQ Discord and add the Hotfix role, which lets you keep up on tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff, and more. Use !Discord in Twitch chat for more information. So yeah, if you want to talk to us about Fragrance Point and
please talk to me about Fragrance Point.
Please talk to me about Fragrance Point.
Yes, talk to us, please.
It's like my user card on my forums. Anyways, this is the final boss. I guess this is kind of like Andros from Star Fox Adventure. We just have to catch all of these bullets and then shoot them back at him. This fight is so much harder than it looks. I promise you that. This is honestly going pretty well, but I'll probably get a laugh here. Yeah. He does this really long, obnoxious laugh that technically we think you can skip, but we're not so sure. We haven't done it yet. This boss fight is hard enough. I don't need more tech put on top of it. Final shot here, and get ready on time. We have defeated Fragrance Point, bad guy, I guess, and time. Yep, that was an experience. All right, I'm done, everyone. That was it. I would get up for the bit, but I don't want to. Anyways, we've stopped the nuke that would have destroyed Fragrance Point. We have saved everyone on board, and with their newfound independence, I'm sure they will do nothing wrong. This game is really special. You probably could tell that, but in a little bit of a different way. I've been talking a lot about how this game is very strange and weird, and I haven't mentioned that it's really good yet. I know this looks like something you would see in Autoblock, and trust me, I know. It is not good. It is not bad. It's one of my favorite games I've ever played. Genuinely, I was surprised too. That is they missed the planet. My well-timed joke is ruined. That's a planet, and it's yep, okay. You know what? They're gonna have their fun. I'm gonna give some shout-outs. Yeah, so first of all, shout out to Halber Ball, which is a name specifically made to make me mispronounce it, for creating this thing. Oh my god. Thank you. This game is very strange. I know you watched this full speedrun, but you can still go play it and have a lot of fun with it. A lot of the magic is in the small details. But it also is just such a cool speedrun. It's very strange. Go play this game. It truly is something special. Thank you to Ashley for joining me as well. Do you have any shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, you can go find me on youtube.com/Ashley Sincere. Yeah, like Shovelclaw said, Fragrance Point is an incredible game, and you can go and buy it. It's on Steam right now for $6 or $7, and you can you will not have anything spoiled. A lot of the value in this game is in the storytelling and the environments and the characters. It's very fun. It's very silly. There are just this game for the cosmetic customization user interface is worth the price alone. And you might be saying, how is that even possible? You just need to look at it.
Don't play it. You'll find out very quickly.
The physics-based customization interface. Literally.
It's so funny.
It literally is so fun. You need to play this game. This game is wonderful. This game is amazing. Thank you, Halber Ball, so much for this incredible masterpiece.
Yeah. And you can find me everywhere as Shovelclaws. That's it. Go support weird indie games. I like playing a lot of weird variety indie game stuff, but that's okay. And until next time, unless I change my mind, I'll change my mind. Thank you for having us. Thanks, Aiden.
Yeah, of course. And by the way, this is the entire speedrunning community of Fragrance Point right now. So if you want to join them,
you guys are
join
in
them.
the presence of some celebrities right now.
Yep.
For sure.
Number 1 and number 2.
Indeed. Thank you both so much for coming on, and applause for playing Fragrance Point for us. Now. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Creature Corner, your GDQ Hotfix show featuring games with non-human player characters or protagonists. And we've got Hades 2 coming up, but before we get into that, I want to let y'all know, do we have some Black and a Flash fans in chat? I know I am a Black and a Flash fan. You can check out my cool pin here to prove it. Joy is the best. But Black and a Flash is returning with an event for Juneteenth from June 20th to 22nd. If you want to learn how to join the Black and a Flash community and submit your runs, visit gdq.gg/BAF. We want to see you there. We also want to see you sticking around for this Hades 2 3-weapon run by Behemoth Steve. Let's do it.
Howdy, good to see ya. So this is my second run on Hotfix. My first one was done actually for Trans Day of Visibility, and can I just say huge shout out to all my other fellow runners today who are also on Trans Day of Visibility. Glad to see so much trans representation. Anyway, for this run in particular, we're going to be doing 3 different weapons, so we are going to be completing the game 3 times in a row in under an hour. First, we're going to be doing it on the Thanatos Axe, and then after that, we'll be going through on the Momus Staff, and then closing it out with the Artemis Daggers. I'm going to speed run through the explanation here. Here's our Altar of Ashes. Big things to note are we want to get the plus 50% damage for having less than 100% mana. We want to get foes in our cast for another plus 30% damage. We want to land 2 different curses on foes so that we get another plus 50% damage. And the biggest thing to note of all is that we have no Death Defiances. If I die, the run is over in terms of validity. In the case of me dying, it's probably going to happen to the final boss, realistically. So if that happens, we'll just move to the next weapon and move on. Anyway, for our keepsakes, we're going to be starting out with the Hera keepsake on the axe, and then we'll be moving on over to the Zeus keepsake for both the staff and the daggers. There's a priority function, so it's just going to immediately swap next time we're coming through the crossroads. Now, this is Creature Corner, so we want to feature some creatures. And with that regards, we're going to be focusing on Phrynos as our animal friend for the axe. We will be bringing Hecuba, our hound, with us for the staff. And then finally, we'll be bringing Gale the polecat with us on our
creature
third journey.
Special. Oh, so good.
Oh, yeah, we love the representation here. So final thing to note is that our Oaths of the Unseen, we have Frenzy, which is going to make foes move and attack faster, but it will also make them spawn in faster, so that's a big thing. And then also we have the Vow of Shadow, which basically just makes one mini-boss go a lot faster. If that mini-boss doesn't appear, it just makes the whole run harder, but hey, we're speedrunners, we can handle it. And then finally we have time, because realistically, if I'm not meeting that time goal, I should not be here. Last thing before we start the run, let's salute the statue for a nice reroll. We used to have to show a pre-run death, but we don't have to anymore. Alrighty, let's get going in 3, 2, 1, go.
Trans rights. Alright, so we're going to start out with Hera, and we are going to be taking, we are looking specifically for our attack, which it does not look like we're getting, so we're taking our cast instead. So Hades 2 has a lot of major differences from the original game. First of which is our cast. That is the most major difference. Instead of firing it forward like a projectile, we get to throw it on the ground, and it freezes enemies in place, holding them to where they are as long as they're not bosses. I'm going to take a break from talking a little bit about what is going on with the new stuff and talk a bit about Chaos. We are taking Chaos here. He takes HP to enter their room, and I love Chaos's gender. It's so great in this game. It's amazing.
Gender fluid representation.
Woo! Yeah. And so Chaos allows us to not only skip a room, but gives us a strong boon at the cost of having a debuff for a few rooms. Furthermore, a few differences about this game. We have our Omega specials and Omega attacks and Omega casts. The way these work is they take the mana bar above our health bar, and by using them, we charge them up, and then we have special features. For our axe, it is a whirlwind attack that you are seeing us use a ton here. For our basic attack, for our Omega attack, and then for our special, we hold it down and then we fire out a line of AoEs straight forward. As we move on,
no mini boss.
Yes, no mini boss because we ran into it twice.
run, I didn't get a single mini boss. In Erebus, let's see if that keeps up.
Yeah. So here we're passing through Arachne and then to Charon, and then we're going to be finishing this region pretty soon. I think we're about over halfway at this point.
Yeah, we're at 8. 11 is the last combat chamber, so.
Yeah. So we're going to be finishing up this room. Forward to the next Yeah. So we're going other differences. We have a shield above our HP now. Our shield can be picked up through shop items or some boons from gods, and it is a really helpful feature for just not taking as much damage. Furthermore, we are using the Thanatos Axe. It attacks faster. It also charges up a critical chance over time as long as we are not taking hits. It is super helpful. And then our animal familiars. I love Phrenos personally. Phrenos is my favorite. And
actually, since we're on Preacher Corner here, what is your favorite animal? I know you love like lizards and amphibians, but do you have like a favorite overall?
I love a bearded dragon. What is yours?
Oh, my favorite animals are rabbits and bears. Unfortunately, only one of those you're allowed to keep as a pet. I don't understand why they don't let you keep rabbits as a pet. Can't figure it out.
Yeah. Just got it. So here we're fighting Hecate. Hecate has quite a few different movesets that she can use on us in a run. This one is a big AoE between each phase, and then after the second phase transition, you're going to see us here in a second.
Oh, come on.
No! And we got both doubles. All right, here we're going to be avoiding Phrenos. Come on, yeah. Phrenos blocks our sheepening orb, meaning we don't get sheeped. We can also dodge through that by running back and forth through it, and it's super helpful. So as we finish this up, we're trying to keep our cast down in her area to keep her with Hitch, which is an effect that deals damage to all enemies. But it is also a curse, meaning it gives us our origination bonus. And we are also trying to use our special to get wound on her. Those give us 2 curses, which allow us to work to get our bonus origination damage. It's super helpful and a ton of extra damage. Here we are picking up an Athena keepsake, which we will see briefly, which we will hopefully see shortly happen. Athena is unfortunately not a god that you can find a random boon for, but instead you have to take a keepsake for. And it's the reason we run with our Death Defiance. Without our Death Defiances, because Athena will only appear if you have no Death Defiances. That also, there's Athena.
You're a little late, Athena.
Yes. Athena also gives us a room clear if we don't kill all the enemies before she appears. But our Athena boons are super helpful. In this case, we picked up Righteous Pike, which means every 90 magic we spend, pikes will come down from the sky and deal heavy damage to a lot of enemies. We are broke, and we are going for Aphrodite here. Rat tails. Yeah. So you might remember the rat from the original game. In the original game, the rat was in the last region and a mini boss there. The rat has turned into a mini boss here, which I guess kind of makes sense because this is pretty close to where that region was in the last game. and it is a quick fight, tiny fight, as long as we can deal a ton of damage. We just got Aphrodite's attack, which gives us a plus 100% damage on our attack to close up foes. It is super helpful for just dealing tons of damage, and we got another Chaos Gate.
I should have actually really checked to see if we had a Narcissist there, but that's fine.
Chaos, I heard your call.
Narcissus is our friendly companion that we can run into in this region. If we run into him, we will talk about it. But yeah, as we are continuing down, we are just choosing the rooms that give us the better rewards. Oftentimes, we'll have rewards that are more meant for progression in the game, paired with other rewards. So in a lot of these cases, it only matters for the small bonus effects that they give us, that we get from the cauldron in this game. Do you want to talk a little bit about anything as we go into our boss for this region?
Well, this is our favorite boss, both you and I, so I'm very excited to do this particular boss. She's a lot of fun. Sorry, they're
Yes, they are. All of them are.
Yeah. Especially Jetty.
As we're going
I love Jetty. Jetty's my favorite.
Jetty just ran away from us. We hope for good Jetty luck. Jetty can run away from us and then rejoin us sometimes. And by throwing down, this boss is actually especially weak to hit because it is a trio of bosses, meaning that they all take damage when we hit each other. You can see our lines going between them. It allows us to deal damage. Yeah, at least Jetty still has hit here. We also no longer have to use our special and our cast. We could use our attack now because our attack... Wait, no, our attack doesn't inflict charm. I don't know what I was thinking.
Pardon?
Our attack does not inflict weak.
No, unfortunately it does not, but we get bonus damage if we're close to enemies. So we want to try and stay close to enemies as we murder them.
Yes. So here we are picking up our Hermes Keepsake. Our Hermes Keepsake will make us run faster and attack faster for basically the rest of the run. It's 250 seconds, which means it will end if we are taking longer than around 4 minutes, but hopefully we'll reach the end of the run by then. Here we are coming into Asphodel. Asphodel is a region that is very different from any other in the game currently. It has, instead of having all of our rewards throughout in one room in order, this region only has around 4 rooms total, including our mini boss and companion. And it spawns the items in the room, and we have to go and find them or find the golden brow that we just grabbed. And we got Nemesis. Nemesis is going to challenge us to a fight here to see if we can kill more enemies than her. This could also lead to some unfortunate RNG in the way Nemesis moves, so hopefully it does not happen. But if it does, we will just have to sit here and watch Nemesis run around for about 5 seconds. So
honestly,
let's hope that...
like the last 2 days I've been running this, she hasn't done that to me, so I'm hoping it sticks, but
marathon luck.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, good girl, Nemesis. Who's a good girl?
Yeah.
Oh, slow cooker.
So, yes. We got Slow Cooker. So I'll explain what Slow Cooker does. Slow Cooker is an infusion boon. It is a new type of boon to Hades 2. And so you might have noticed up in the upper left corner of all of our boons, they all have an element. We just got, that vampire just drained our health.
Listen,
and that was...
that chaos where I get stunned for a second every time I get hit was not a good choice against the punchy punch.
Yeah.
Suddenly punching bag.
Thank you, my friend.
Yes. So we have you might be seeing up in our upper left corner, all of our boons have elemental effects. Those elemental effects help us with our infusion boons, like Slow Cooker. What they do is, after having a certain amount, they give us just a flat effect, or in some cases, a scaling effect. So in Slowcooker's case, it gives us an extra +2 damage per fire boon that we have. It is super helpful because, you know, more damage means more fast.
Yeah. More dead things mean more fast.
Yes.
Oh, come on!
I'm noticing a lot of creatures and a lot of women in this game. And I'm
Yes.
that's pretty cool, and a lot of gender.
Yes.
I will say one of the things that I love Hades 1. Like, the first game was A1, but I cannot stress how much more I love Hades 2. And part of it is just like the huge like women representation. Like, almost all of the main cast is women in this, and that's you know, it's nice to see.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I think this might be something the audience might want to know, because of course Hades is a very well-known game and its story is pretty well known. How does the story of Hades 2 sort of differ from Hades 1, and what is the goal of our protagonist here?
Farewell, Lord Charon.
Do you want to give your badly explained?
Okay. So I don't want to give any like spoilers or anything, so I'm gonna try and keep it like as dumb as possible. The plot of Hades 1 is basically your dad's a jerk, so you go to your mom's house for a weekend. And the plot of Hades 2 is basically grandpa's a jerk, so you're putting him back to bed. And that's
Fair enough.
it.
Yeah. Including Granddad hurt Cerberus, our wonderful dog.
Puppy!
We love Cerberus, and we have to fight him because Granddad did this.
Oh, no.
Right?
So we don't like Granddad for that reason.
Kronos.
So true.
Yeah.
So true. Sound off in the chat if you also love Cerberus and hate Kronos.
Yes. Also, that attack does no damage. We don't know why. There has not been an update since, so we don't know if it was a bug or something, or it just was or it was intentionally added to have no damage. But we take advantage of it because we want to go fast. But all those other ones still deal with damage. And Cerberus is clawing up, digging away, unfortunately. We're just cleaning Cerberus, though. We're not actually hurting him at all. Even though he does not like his bath.
Come on.
And there is Cerberus down. Good boy.
I want to give pets.
Good boy.
Which head do I pet? All three, I guess. I don't know.
Yes.
They're all good boys.
So we are on our way into our final region. We are going to be picking up a trinket called Knuckle Bones. The way this trinket works is it gives us a 30% reduction on...
15.
Is it 15 and 15?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a 15% reduction on our damage, but also a 15% damage straight away to the boss of any region, the region that we pick it up in. So it's super helpful for just dealing damage quickly to the boss, and really nice. Speaking of going fast, we are going to just be running straight through this region. We're going to be taking every room that leads to the next room in the number sequence, and not be taking any rewards. So this is the build we are going to be with for the rest of the run, and it is pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like our boss damage is a little bit lacking, but I feel like our room clear's doing okay.
Yeah, also I feel the hitch is going to help the boss damage on Cronus more than bosses. Because Cronus has a lot of lackeys he likes to summon. So that is always a fun time. And hitch helps with that. While we're running through these rooms, I'll spend a little bit of time talking about Phrynos and how Phrynos is the best animal familiar in the game. Not biased at all. He jumps around and does bonus damage to all of our enemies when he jumps into them, but he also is able to block projectiles when he's jumping. That's what we did with Hecate earlier. The only way that projectile can really be blocked, it's interesting, And then finally, he also, while not useful for a speed run, he charms the enemies that give us Psyche and allows us to send our enemies back up, and not enemies, our friends, our specters who give us Psyche, and allows us to send them back up to the safety of the crossroads. That is one of the many, many games in this game for the sake of collecting resources. All of the animal familiars help a certain one. It is a really fun feature to have, and I like it so much more than the original way they had all the resource gathering set up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, when this game first launched, it was awful.
Not the game, just the resource collecting.
Oh, yeah. Specifically, yeah. So now you can find all sorts of resources anytime, and they're like relatively easy to collect. When this first launched, it was like you can only find fish if you brought your fishing rod. You can only find digging spots if you brought your shovel.
Yeah.
It made farming very, very difficult.
Yes. So they fixed that rather quickly. I want to say that was like their first minor
that was
update.
like one of the first major patches for sure.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, the game's in early access. The story is not done yet. So if you are interested in checking it out while it's still in early access, it's a very fun game. Very good so far. And we are on to our shop right before the boss. We're actually going to pick up one last boon here for the bonus damage.
Gonna see if I can get some more damage on here. Yeah, sure, let's do that. I probably should have gone with Bridal Glow, but it's fine.
Yeah. And here we come across Grandad. So remember
Grandpa's
all that
the worst.
Yeah, remember all that work he put into cleaning up and making the house look nice in the first game? He has undone and destroyed it all and plastered his face all over the space. It really sucks. If you look around, you'll notice more and more of his faces. It gets unnerving. There's our Knuckle Bones proc going off to deal the extra 15 damage right off the bat. Basically getting us a phase transition, which is super helpful.
Go on me. Running into every projectile that he just spawned there.
Yeah.
That's a little known speedrun strat. Sometimes if you die fast, it makes the next run start sooner.
It's all right, I didn't notice.
It also
I was
invalidates the
just
run, but that's
thinking
neither
of
here nor
all around me are familiar faces.
Yeah.
Yes. You might also notice us running around. We have armor when we're running around. Do we have that? Didn't we pick up that Hermes boon?
Yeah, we did that.
I was like, I think I'm seeing the armor when we're running around, so we might be able to do something in the second phase.
Yeah, I don't know if I still have Nitro. It might have already been used. We'll find out the fun way.
Sounds good. So, this big attack is an AoE that...
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That does a ton of damage. It is not a one-hit kill theoretically, but it will basically always one-hit kill you. So you try to stay out of it, but there are a few ways you can dodge it. One is the Nitro that we are talking about, where we have armor while we're running. That is another major difference between Melanoy and Zagreus, is the way the dashes work. Instead of being able to dash 3 times in sequence, we can dash once, but then we turn into a run, and it's nice for going fast, but also less great for dodging. And Chronos.
So, just gonna let you know, Axe is my least used weapons, or rather, my least consistent weapon. So I was expecting that.
Not good enough.
But this is fine. This is fine.
Yeah. So we're going to be switching to our next weapon here. Our next weapon is the Momo Staff, which is a very fun staff to use. And we are also switching to Hecuba, our hound friend. We love Hecuba. I love all the animal familiars, you might notice.
Right? They're all so good. And unfortunately, the only one we're not going to see between this and PDOV is Tula, the cat.
Yeah.
and she is adorable, but unfortunately terrible for speedruns.
Yeah.
So it's just the way it goes.
Yeah. So our so our staff has a basic swinging attack that allows us to just hit enemies in front of us, and then a charged Omega that gives us a long line of AoE that we now, because we are using the Momo staff, procs 3 times in a row. The Momo staff is strong because it will keep doing your Omega attacks, meaning we want to be using our Omegas a lot more than any other weapon. Although learning how to mix your Omegas and your special in your regular attacks in this game is a very essential part of it. And then we have our Omega in our regular special, which shoots out a small projectile, or our Omega special, which shoots out a big orb that deals damage in an area when it hits with an enemy. It is a very fun weapon. This is the first weapon you start the game with. And yeah, as we're running through this region, I'll talk a little bit about Hecuba as well. Hecuba is our hound. Hecuba can dig up. What was the other?
Mini boss.
Oh, you're fine.
I saw boyfriend hammer. I take boyfriend hammer.
Yeah, boyfriend hammer. We call it boyfriend hammer because of information that we get on the surface. Because you guys are only seeing half the game tonight. This game has a second entire upward route, which is completely different and harder than this down route. And it is a lot of fun. I recommend checking it out. It has my favorite region in the game, which is the second region in the up route, as well as just a lot more, even more variety than this down route has. Here we're coming.
To answer the question in chat, yes, it's running this same run 3 times in a row with 3 different weapons.
Right.
And ideally actually winning, unlike you did with the axe, which, you know.
It's all right. It's how it goes. Now we can have a 2-weapon run and a 1-weapon. Almost.
Yeah, exactly.
We choose the weapon at the start of whenever we're doing the runs. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Steve, do you want to talk a little your philosophy when choosing the weapons?
Yeah, so my favorite category in this game is actually all weapons, which obviously you just clear the game 6 times in a row, all 6 weapons. That's my favorite category. Obviously, that's a little bit harder to do marathon-wise, because trying to get good marathon luck in a roguelike 6 runs in a row while you're running a marathon is brutal. I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a great category, and as Corey kind of said, my philosophy with this game is that, like, there's obviously a meta, and there's a lot of things that you'll find on the speedrun leaderboards where you'll see like the same weapons getting used over and over and over again.
Olympus, I accept this message.
As much as I appreciate, you know, the idea of like optimizing and stuff like that, I find I have the... Come on, give me something good, Demeter. You are the worst. All right, no more rerolls. Anyway, yeah, my general rule is I play what I want, how I want, when I want. It's just a lot more fun for me than trying to do like the major strats and stuff. And I believe that any truly like skilled player at this game will be able to make any weapon sing given enough time. So yeah. So I like to play weapons that don't see as much leaderboard presence, which is why you won't see weapons like the Medius go. Okay.
Oh,
sheep,
we got
sheep.
Sheep for creature corner.
I'm sorry, I love this. I know it's not good for the run, but you know what? I advocate for sheep time.
Yeah. Well, in fact, we timed it during our last practice. It's a 13-second long sheepening on average. It is. I did not know how long it was until we timed it, so that was a fun timing to do. But yes, we the sheepening is definitely a thing that Hecate can do, and we blocked it in our first run with Freenos, and it is something that you can learn to dodge over time, and definitely is still not the easiest thing, especially with certain attacks, like in that exact example where Hecate moved into phase 2 almost immediately.
Yeah, so if you don't mind me kind of like expounding on the different weapons and stuff. It's really neat, like playing this game through early access, because you truly do see all the balance shifts that come with it. Oh, did I autopiloted, didn't I?
Yeah.
Did.
So we picked up Fig Leaf Keepsake. It lets us skip rooms. It's from Dionysus. We love Dionysus. He's on the surface.
So just for the record, I've been running like the same Keepsake setup for the last
Down we go.
2 months, and then just today I was like, you know what, we're gonna try something new. And so that's what we're doing. We're kind of trying some new Keepsakes, just because, you know, it's fun. But yeah, truly, my favorite weapons, obviously Moma's staff here is my go-to. The staff itself has seen some major differences in how it's looking throughout the life of this game. Because yeah, like early on the staff was not so hot. Like the last couple major patches, it was okay but not amazing. And this most recent update is taking it to the next level. So staff users rejoice on that one. For the torch, my favorite go-to is the Eos torch. The Moros torch is also a lot of fun, and it's also probably the easiest weapon to pick up in speedrun. So if you're thinking about speedrunning this game, Moros torch is a good place to start. For axes, I like the Thanatos axe, but truly I am bad with all of them.
Axes are so slow.
Unfortunately for the skull, I'm very meta. I like the Media skull, but it's mostly because I don't like any of the skulls. And then we have the coat. I actually really like the coat. The coat is the most recent weapon to get added, and that's basically like the fists from the first game. Effectively.
It's the fists mixed.
So if you like fist gameplay, coat is basically the same.
It's the fists mixed with the gun. In the absurdity level.
Fist plus gun equals coat, yeah.
Yeah, because it definitely is that weapon that you're like, you have your staff, you've got your daggers, you have your axe, you have your magic wands, and you have your mech suit.
Oh, right. Yeah, true. And then finally, I haven't mentioned this one yet, but the daggers. The daggers is my favorite weapon, 100%. Like, without a doubt. Daggers, the best weapon in the game, in my opinion. And in particular, Artemis daggers, my beloved. Right.
Yeah.
That weapon, I feel like, does not get nearly enough love. Which is partially because hand daggers has been so incredibly dominant in the meta, at least on the Olympus update. It was, fun fact for you, regards to the leaderboards here, is hand daggers had 66 runs on the leaderboards in the last major update, and there were 166 runs in total. So that means all 17 other aspects had 100 runs put together compared to Pan Daggers, which was 66.
Yeah.
So that's another one I would recommend if you want to pick up the game for speed running. Like, Pan Daggers is pretty quick and easy to learn. You basically drop a cast, and then you throw as many specials at an enemy as you can. Ideally with Poseidon special, but...
For
old Momus was hilarious. True, old Momus, like first patch Momus was nutty, for sure.
Yeah. So here we're running through Asphodel again. We are just going to be trying to locate our golden boughs and locate the rest of our items. We have our wonderful Hecuba, who will dig up magic items for us. Magic restoration, which normally magic restoration can only be gained from boons from a god inside of a room or between rooms at any time. So it is super helpful to have, and Hecuba just generally gives us a boost on the amount of magic that we have at the start of a run. So we get to do more of our magic big Omega attacks, which is super nice for Momus, which is just allowing us to do it more. So yeah.
That's enough, Slither.
You might have noticed we got a room skip there because we picked up the Dionysus Fig. The Dionysus Fig leaf allows us to get that skip a room in once per region until the end of the run, basically, once we pick it up. That is why we only pick it up after. We just picked up a wonderful duo boon. Duo boons only appear when you have certain boons from two specific gods, and in this case, it is Ares and Aphrodite's duo boon, which causes, when our blood drops are picked up, we spawn a Heartbreak Orb. Heartbreak Orbs do a lot of damage, and it's super nice. And our blood drops drop on the ground when we are either.
For this one, it's whenever we kill an enemy or take damage.
I was about to say, this is the kill enemy, take damage, yeah. I think, yeah. And then it has a chance of doubling up on it as well. So, yeah. You can see our Heartbreak Orbs going around. They hover around us until we either hit an enemy with them or leave the room. They are super helpful because they deal a lot of damage. I think it's styled off the Aphrodite call from the original game, in a way, because
probably
that call did so much damage in the original game.
I can't do this. I mustn't listen.
I remember that fondly.
Oh yeah.
Well.
Good times. Secret Crush.
Secret Crush is great. It lets us talk a little bit about priming our magic. By priming our magic, we lose the ability to use it in the room. However, it gives us a bonus effect. In the case of Secret Crush, it gives us 20 more power. It is super nice because damage stacks, and it allows us to deal a ton more damage. Here we're giving Cerberus another bath. Cerberus is spawning our enemies for us as we are finishing up this room and hopefully going to, yeah. Cerberus is a good boy, and I wish we didn't have to fight him. And
even if he doesn't love us right now,
and I wish we could pet him. We can't pet him in this game, and it's sad.
Can we get some pets for Cerberus in the chat?
Mom, I want to pet Cerberus.
Just, I think chat's powerful enough.
Cerberus at home.
We can do it together if we try.
Defeating Princess.
A little bark at the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're free again for now.
Hecuba's like eluding her fellow dog friend.
Yes. And fun fact about Cerberus, we also have there's also the shade that was cheering us on in the original game during our third region boss, who is in the region boss room with Cerberus. And he gets sad when we beat Cerberus. Just like me.
Well, now I'm here.
Yeah, he makes a sad face and it's like, oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we do not get to see Cerberus outside of the boss fights on this run. You can run into him by going to the companion in this region. However, by going to the companion in this region, we also lose time because it does not let us skip a room. And it also requires us to... it also loses us the... it also spawns more enemies, which loses us more time. Also, we didn't pick up Athena.
No. I'm YOLO.
Yeah, no, it's so fair. But yeah, you might have seen that line going off of us.
Never thought
that was. Oh,
Sorry.
that goes going towards a fishing spot. There are so many mini games for collecting resources in this game. I will pass it back to Steve.
Sorry, to answer a question from chat, yeah, it's a strat I came up with today. So, we'll see if it works. One of my favorite things about this game, actually, is, yeah, there's a lot of, like, different leaderboard strats and stuff that you can follow, but you really can just make this game work, coming up with your own stuff. And, like, 90% of what I'm doing today is mostly stuff that I just kind of learned on the fly. So, if you want to get into this game and you want to just like pick stuff up, like just play around with stuff, experiment, go for it.
Yeah, for sure. And that's one thing I really love about all the games that I wanted to feature tonight, and to do this sort of fresh off the presses theme.
Should be the last of them.
To feature tonight, and to do this sort of fresh off the presses theme.
Yeah. I learned this game in a course of about 3 weeks to do the commentary for the Trans-Day Visibility run, and it is a great time. It is a great game to learn. It was really the first game I picked up as a speed game, so it is definitely one of those games that you can kind of just pick up and start learning very quickly, especially if you have even a bit of knowledge on Hades 2 before you start.
Time again, is it?
Yeah.
One of the major things I actually really like about Hades 2 versus 1, and keeping in mind that Hades 1 was kind of like my first experience kind of getting into speedrunning, and it was extremely casually. But one of the things I really like about Hades 2 is that it very much feels like you kind of have to force yourself to be a little bit more deliberate than with the first game. Insofar as Hades 1, it was often, it was part of the meta to have those death defiances. As well as you had multiple dashes that you could use. Melanoe only ever has the one dash, truly, so you have to be a lot more careful about what you're doing, even if it doesn't look like it sometimes. But also, it feels a lot more rewarding in some regards.
Yes, I would agree. I also feel like this game really became its own to me only after I started not using Death Defiances, as I feel this game is made to be played without. The fact that they aren't an automatic thing, and the fact that strength exists and gives you just a whole bunch of Death Defiances, not Death Defiances, a whole bunch of damage reduction, really makes this game feel like its own thing in comparison. It just made this game really click with me once I stopped using that and started using strength. All right. I will pass it to Steve to talk about our final weapon, because I know it is your favorite.
Yes. So Artemis Daggers is my favorite weapon in the whole game.
Tell you.
And we're gonna play a game with it, which is the game is called Can I Parry That? And the answer is almost like
and yet
almost always yes.
such as time has proven a
Yes.
most stubborn one indeed.
Yes, the answer is almost always yes. We will talk about the one or two cases where it is no.
So that this night would never come to pass.
Ow. Return to Shadow now.
Shadow, we had that earlier. Different run.
Yeah.
Sorry, want to comment on something from chat, actually. Yeah, actually, that's part of the fun of early access, to be honest. Like, admittedly, to answer the question from Organic Artist there, admittedly, when I first submitted this run for the TDOV event, I was employing a strategy that I no longer can use. It was removed from the game entirely the day that I submitted my run for that event. So, I mean, it's part of the fun of early access is learning that what you have can be gone in a moment. And I kind of like it. For me, that just means I have to learn more. Like,
yeah, it's kind of a dynamic speedrunning environment, right? And of course, you can always acknowledge that when you're recording the history of speedruns. This strat isn't, possible anymore. This wouldn't work, But this one is now.
Yeah.
They added this, so it's always changing.
Exactly.
Speaking of early access, this game is almost a year into early access. It was around this time last year that they were looking for people for the closed beta tests. So that is another fun aspect.
I'm glad too, because the gimmick of this show was last year's, and I was like, oh, I hope Hades 2's in it. And then I checked, and I was like,
yes.
Come on.
Do you want to talk a bit about why this weapon is your favorite?
Yeah, for me, it's the reactionary nature of this weapon. For me, is just incredible. Like, because truly, this weapon is something you can't plan to be good at. You kind of just have to know when to hold them, know when to fold them with the parry. And in my opinion, the best parries are not the ones that you just kind of line up. It's the ones that just happen in the last second. Yeah. Really hoping that tree would explode in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Also, we've got a question.
I see somebody
ask.
ask.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
We are same braining right now. We're so on the same wavelength.
I know.
I love this.
Yeah, I was about to say, I see somebody asking about the Zeus attack and special boons. I would say they are pretty good because Blitz it takes a few seconds and then it will deal a whole bunch of damage to the enemy. However, there are some duo boons that go along with it that allow us to proc it a ton, mainly Aphrodite's, and that is how I've gotten some of my personal fastest runs, is using that.
Take it.
Thanks, man. Love you.
Yeah. Now,
Sorry.
who normally we have to fight with Room. Also, we did not talk about Gale. We'll bring that up in a second. But yeah, Nem, who we normally have to fight or fight with in a room, can sometimes just clear a room for us, and it's really nice. Yeah, do you want to talk about Gale?
Gale is my favorite animal companion because her whole shtick is she can deflect an attack for you, which is super handy. But when she does so, she pops up in the center of the screen and basically goes, before Shoryukening the enemy into the next year. And it's adorable. Like, who doesn't want to have, like, little polecat creature
I love Gale.
Right? I actually had a freeze frame finish where Gale did actually take the last hit of the boss, the final boss.
Yeah, all right. We just picked up Hephaestus, who I love Hephaestus. Hephaestus is my favorite god in the game. And Hephaestus special specifically, in this case, is going to deal a ton of damage every, I want to say it's a 4-second recharge right now? 5 seconds, something like that.
It varies based on...
I think for this current special, it's about 4 seconds.
I never use Hephaestus, so this is kind of new to me.
Yeah, you cannot
so
parry
you cannot
this.
parry this.
You cannot parry the sheep. The sheep is a guaranteed hit. The other sheep attack in the game that is related to sheep by going up and fighting Polyphemus, where he grabs you, also cannot be parried. So that is very funny how two of them are sheep related. Yes. So Gale's effect only works 3 times per region, but since we are leaving our region and picking up the Athena trinket, we are going to be able to reuse Gale's ability for more bonus damage and less damage on ourselves. As we run into Oceanus, I would love to talk just a little bit about how this game, it really feels difficult to beat some of these bosses at first, and as you play it, it gets better and you get better at fighting the bosses, and it is a lot of fun. We got Athena, and we are looking for our cast. As we have Flash Fry, which makes these rooms very nice. Flash Fry deals a huge amount of damage whenever we kill enemies to all the other enemies in the area. It is another really nice thing to have.
I'm cursed.
Yeah.
Withstood that chaos curse I had.
Ratals!
And if you want to go ahead and express your love for Ratals with our official Ratals emote or any of the other cool emotes that we have, you can sub to GDQ. Your subs, Prime game subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support GDQ Hotfix. If you enjoy watching speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel to get access to our emotes, have ad-free viewing, and chat with other subscribers during our replays. Ratals. Finished.
Yes. 2 out of 3 Ratal.
Hello, everybody. Thank you all for being so patient with us while we figured out that tech issue. We are back up and running, so let's finish off that Hades 2 run. Thank you for waiting patiently.
Woo.
Alrighty, we're gonna hop back in 3, 2, 1, go. So we just killed off the Ratal King there.
And we get to see a narcissist who I get to talk about the fact that I find it very ironic how he does not have his art in the game yet.
Yeah, the one
Despite...
character who doesn't have it yet is Narcissus.
Yeah.
That is pretty funny, actually. About it.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what they do with him, but I think it would also be very funny if for some reason they decide to leave him this way.
Excellent.
Here we are picking up Mean Streak, which got buffed in the most recent update. Mean Streak now allows us, for every enemy we kill with this version, it is a plus 1% damage increase, and it carries between rooms. It is super helpful. I did not know Gale could attack steam vents.
Yeah, it was very helpful. Love you, Gale.
The flash fry bombs in those rooms always terrifies me.
Now we're ready.
Like, I know they're not gonna hit us, but yeah, here we're back to our favorite boss. This boss had 2 songs, and I love the fact that they, as they die and as we take them out of the fight, their musical instruments are removed from the fight song. It is amazing and a lot of fun as well. In general, this boss is fun and and right now they are singing the diss track that they write for Melanoid after you beat them a few times.
Show's over. For me.
I've got a quick question from chat.
Yep.
How often does the health fill up? Is it a buff or is it by room? Is the question.
Big drop.
Yeah, you refill health just by going to fountains. certain boons can allow you to heal. Picking up food items will also do it.
Won't hurt at all.
There's a number of different ways you can pick up max health too sometimes by
Chaos.
picking up hearts as well as doing the there's like a buff that you can get later which lets you get health every time that you pick up the ashes items. So there's a number of ways that you can heal throughout the run.
Yeah. There are also certain other gods like Poseidon, who we hope not to see in a run, but Poseidon has a lot more health-related boons as well, and there are some other gods who give health-related boons. So having them can also really help your run if you are struggling with your health. We are hoping for some good Asphodel luck here. Sometimes taking Chaos can cause some weirdness in Asphodel, including missing out on our Echo Room, so we are hoping to not run into that. But if it happens, it happens. Chaos is always a nice find due to the skipping of a room. Here we have air quality, which is going to increase our minimum damage, so we can only deal a minimum of 20 damage now, or is it 30?
Air quality is actually an incredible infusion boon for some specific setups. I really like it on if you're able to get Zeus cast with Demeter's Arctic Gale, it actually skyrockets your damage by an absurd amount.
Yeah, indeed. We got all of our special rooms, so that is nice. Yeah, as we are finishing up this region, we are going to, as always, be trying to keep our enemies in our cast. We did not see the boss that we take the Vow of Shadows for. However, we just saw it as a mini enemy there, because that's what this game does. It brings back the mini boss that you run into early in the run into a enemy in this region. I honestly really love the design of all the enemies in this game, especially the ones when we go to the surface route. I feel the surface.
What are you doing? Sorry.
You're fine. What is that dog doing?
What's the dog doing?
Yeah. The enemies on the surface route, especially ones in the most recent region, are so much more monstrous than anything else we've seen in Hades up to this point, and I'm really happy they tapped into that, because that is one of my favorite aspects of Greek mythology in general, is the monstrous enemies. So, here we're gonna fight Pet Cerberus one more time. Give him a good bath. We love Cerberus. I feel bad that we have to fight him every time we have to fight him. Yeah. So we are just trying to keep our enemies in our cast, because our enemies are going to gain hitch, which allows us to deal more damage to all of them. We are throwing down our once in a very long time Omega cast on Cerberus because that, and then we are parrying the Cerberus AoE effects because you can parry that. You can parry just about everything in this game.
Just about anything.
It's really fun.
That's fantastic.
A flash of
anything not related to sheep.
Okay, noted. As a former fencer, I'll try to take that into my next bout.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be at peace again.
Time itself, you can parry that. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Fireballs.
I got it.
Spawns of
Notes
monsters.
emote.
We've all been there.
I love games where you can parry anything. It's so great.
Oh, it truly is. Like it's an incredible feeling. Like If you've ever played Breath of the Wild and you parried a Guardian Laser, like that was like the top for me. I was like, this game will never be the same now.
Yeah. I think that was part of the reason I like this weapon as well. It's just because it feels so fun to parry anything in the game if
Like
you're
this.
playing it right. Yeah.
My favorite is
You
lava.
can parry.
Like lava's a lot of fun to parry.
Yeah. We don't see lava commonly on a run. That is a alternate room type in the second region that can only happen if Kronos decides to take us there. Fun fact about that room, in case you're speedrunning, you can just not play the room and win.
Yeah, actually, we got to showcase that in the TDOV run, actually, where I did get dropped into the lava region. And yeah, you can just not do the room gimmick and it kicks you out. The only downside is you don't get any reward for it, but like, hey, we're just trying to go fast, right?
Yeah. Yep. We are also another thing that you could go look at in the TDOV run is our companion. We are not showing Rocky off tonight, but Rocky is a companion that gives us a bonus crit chance, and crit damage is really strong in this game. You'll see it happening occasionally because of our parrying using the Ardent Stackers.
I will say this is a good time to talk about it. This is probably my least favorite room in the whole game, and also both times I've been in this room, it's been my least favorite enemy configurations. So, you know, like... Thanks, God.
Yeah. Remember all those enemies that you had like a pretty easy time fighting in the first game? That's no longer the case in Tartarus in this game. Those skulls that you would smash with one hit, yeah, they teleport around now.
Like, honestly, that is the worst thing when you're a speedrunner. Trying to track down all the enemies, like, hidden throughout the area.
Yeah. This room's nice, though, because it's nice and small.
True.
The enemies will spawn around us, especially if we're moving in a corner. Yeah, free trap to parry. You can see that big obelisk standing in the center. That's an extra thing if you're not speedrunning. It lets you get some bonus HP. You know, this game is really good casually, too. We didn't get to see it tonight, but there is another feature that is a lot like the calls in the original game called Hexes, and it has its own skill tree. I love it. Flash Fry?
Huh? Oh, sorry.
Slow
I just wanted
cooker.
slow cooker.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
Slow cooker is so nice. Bonus damage. And now it's time to see if we can parry that.
Yeah.
So here we are at our final fight against Kronos. We are once again just trying to get as many enemies hitched as possible to deal bonus damage and to get the damage spread across all enemies. It's a lot of fun, and hitch is probably my favorite curse in the game if I had to choose one. As we finish this off, we are trying to stay just very close, get our parry ready, probably not expend our parry if we can help it, for phase 2. And
Okay, phase 1.
Ooh, and we have a parry.
You can parry that.
Yep. So, now we're gonna play a game.
Oh, yeah.
A game called...
Okay.
We didn't get to play this game last time.
True. So the game we're going to play is, does my parry come back before his one-shot move? And it looks like yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
The answer is almost always yes.
Not always. I mean, I've had a couple close calls. And by close calls...
I said almost always.
All right, we're done.
GG. Amazing job sticking all that out.
Yeah. Once again, sorry it wasn't as fast as normal. We encountered a number of speed bumps, but hey.
You did fantastic. No worries at all. I'm sure everybody can tell that RNG is hard and you were gaming.
You know, that first part,
so
RNG is indeed hard. RNG does really fight you in this game, but it's a lot of fun regardless, like just to pick it up and give it a shot. Also, if you're not into doing like early access stuff, try the first one. The first one's also a blast. It's also super fun. It has 6 other weapons that you can run. Like, it's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And if they want to see more from you, where can they find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/BehemothSteve, as well as on YouTube at BehemothSteve. I do this most of the time. Like, I'd say about 4 days a week I do Hades speedrunning. It's not always 3 weapon categories. I like to do different ones. My favorite category lately is one that doesn't exist on the leaderboard, which is basically 1 weapon, 2 runs. You do both the surface and the underworld. So I have that for 5 out of 6 weapons done right now, and we're going to be doing the 6th one tomorrow. So if you want to check that out, I'll be doing the skull upsy downsies run is what I like to call it. We'll do that tomorrow.
Welcome back, everybody, to Creature Corner, the GDQ Hotfix show that features games with non-human player characters or protagonists. We are going to finish off our fresh off the presses special run of shows tonight with Squirrel with a Gun by I Swim Fly. This is any %. Let's shoot some stuff.
All right, hello. This is Squirrel with a Gun. This game came out in 2024 toward the end of the year. I forget if it was August or September, but it was later in the year. This game is really silly. It's really fun. It is a sandbox collectathon platformer, I think is the best way I can put it in terms of normal genres, but I just like to say that it's a squirrel who shoots things. Anyways, I'm going to get into the run. Time is going to start not as soon as I start the save. There's going to be a cutscene of the squirrel jumping into a room. I'll give a countdown, and time will start as soon as I get control of the squirrel. But yeah, we'll just get into things here. So the overall goal of this is going to be to get 40 golden acorns and 400 regular acorns. Golden acorns are kind of like stars or moons in modern Mario games, and acorns are kind of like coins. Anyways, time is in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Immediately, I kind of have to start explaining glitches, which is going to be the prop throw. The squirrel can pick things up, and by re-grabbing them as you throw, you get a little more height on your jump. So I'm normally not able to make this jump here, but by doing a prop throw, I can get way more height, and we're going to use that again here to get outside the map. Now, there is a teleporter that just leaves this area, which is up there. Unfortunately, it is faster to do this area rather than just skip the whole thing, because we do need those 40 acorns. So I'm going to fall back in bounds and skip doing that first room. Going to skip a little cutscene trigger there. Throw the grenade. Hopefully get those guys. If not, there's more grenades around. That might not be enough either. It's a little far away. All right. Last grenade.
They take
Make
damage
it count.
and sink. Only that's how
They
the
do.
real
It's
world
awesome. All right. So I'm going to collect a couple acorns here because I like to take a rather safe route through the bunker. I also need to find one of their guns, which perfect. There's one by the door here. All right, and now we have to get into gun mechanics. I am the squirrel with a gun, roll credits, but the gun is comically large compared to the squirrel. With this comes a change to the squirrel's physics where I can shoot the gun backwards to propel myself forward or shoot it downward to gain height. So by giving myself ammo, I can propel myself upward and around. And we're really going to see this pop off with the next gun I'm going to get, which is the submachine gun, the SMG. Those 2 little red wedge things that I'm grabbing are called reload wedges. They allow the squirrel to reload the gun without passing over a reload point or a or getting another gun, like from one of these dispensers here. So I'm gonna really quickly grab 4 golden acorns in here, and we're gonna make our way out. I gotta make a couple more jumps, and I'm building up to 100 regular acorns because you use acorns to unlock things throughout the map. So I, in my route, prefer to unlock the SMG in here because I think that it's just faster and more reliable than doing the rest of the movement that you would have to do with the pistol. So now I have the submachine gun. Now, a weird quirk about guns in this game that I didn't really talk about with the pistol is most guns have a limit to how many bullets you can shoot down to propel yourself up. The SMG does not have this restriction, so I can just use this basically as a jetpack and just throw myself up.
I love this game.
No problem. This game is awesome. Tap firing is a little bit safer to conserve ammo and bounce myself higher when I have limited ammo, so you'll see me doing that a little bit here, just to try to propel myself over and grab the pole and climb out of here. We're going to get a minute-long unskippable cutscene that's really adorable and just kind of shows off the fact this game was made in Unreal Engine 5. But this is the neighborhood. This is where we're going to spend the majority of the rest of the run, with the exception of the final boss fight. There are 2 boss fights in this game. We're going to skip one using a trick in the game's checkpoint system about halfway through collecting all the golden acorns, at least the way I do it. Routes to this game are a little bit diverse depending on who plays it. Shout out to Squirrel Pascals, who ran any percent at HDQ. I'm actually using a trick that he found at the end of this run that I'll talk about when we get there. But that's my adorable little squirrel. He wants the car. We're not going to get the car this way. We're not going to unlock the car by normal means because getting those 400 acorns is kind of a pain. Anyways, we're now able to roam around and collect as many golden acorns as we can. There are a couple of restricted areas that we're going to bypass in a few different ways, actually. But for now, I'm just going to be on a golden acorn collecting spree. I'll kind of explain things as I go. We're going to do another prop throw to get over this fence. Perfect. I can throw that out because I no longer need it. I'm going to use bullet time because, of course, this game has bullet time, like hyper focus, kind of like super hot, to grab the shotgun from this guy and then proceed to stop him from breathing with it.
Oh.
There's only so many ways you can family friendly what just happened there. I'm desperately avoiding the mines here in the floor. Seems he found a couple.
If nothing happens to the squirrel, I think we're chilling.
Yeah, we should be safe then. Anyways, he's over there in the minefield. I'm gonna grab the rest of the golden acorns that are around his house. There's one up there. There's one in here, and then I'm gonna reload checkpoint once I grab this, which will put me back outside that fenced area so I don't have to like climb my way out of this house. I can just go back to the street that's next to it and get over to some more golden acorns. Immediately, I'm gonna use the shotgun to propel myself backward. It's one of the best for doing so. I'm gonna knock this guy over to take his SMG and stop him from attacking me back. Every time you kill an enemy in this, you get reload energy back. It's different from a reload wedge, but it builds up, I'll say, the same charge that a reload wedge would give you. I'm gonna come into the cookout party, snap this guy's neck. Don't worry, he's asking for it. I'm going to now go out here and use bullet time again for a different reason. When you activate bullet time, it propels things forward. So if I propel this propane tank over next to the red under section there in the crawl space, I can get that one easily. I'm going to propel myself a little bit with the SMG, but I do have to preserve ammo. I forgot to grab a golden acorn, so I'm going to try to get up top. Perfect. I'm going to run over here and grab this one because I forgot to on my way into the house.
On the fly routing.
On the fly routing, exactly.
Pun intended.
And now we're going to cook some burgers because that's a thing you can do in this game. This game honestly gives me like Goat Simulator vibes with like a little bit of that super hot and just, I don't know, overall violent energy. But some of the side objectives are really silly. So I'm going to put, oh, there we go. Good enough. I essentially need to grab and keep track of 4 of these burgers because I need to put them all onto these people's patties to feed them and save the cookout from the guy who could not cook. Let them cook, chat. Unfortunately, I didn't see where the last one went, so I'm going to have to... Oh, there it is. All right. Grab one more.
I'm not so sure
Look at
those
this
are
guy.
like perfectly sanitary to eat anymore.
Perfectly sanitary and perfectly cooked by getting blown up next to a propane tank.
Exactly.
So
no issues with these
there we go.
burgers.
With the reload energy that I got before that I didn't really talk about it, but one thing that I can do is if I release the reload as I charge it, and if I release it perfectly as the ammo were to enter my gun, I can then get an infinite amount of ammo. There's a lot to explain really early on into this, so apologies that I didn't get to that sooner, but that is something that is kind of a staple of the run. That perfect reload there where my ammunition turns red is the sign that I got a perfect reload and gives me just infinite ammo for a short duration of time. We're about to wrap up the first section here. I'm gonna grab that red bush. The red bushes also give you the same reload energy that getting rid of an agent does, or finding a reload wedge does. Again, it doesn't increase your capacity, but it will allow you to reload on the spot. So I'm gonna do that again here. I'm gonna open these windows first, and I'm gonna pop the perfect reload and grab another one to store it for later. We're gonna come up here, grab another one on top of the house. We're gonna go inside, grab one on the top shelf here. Perfect amount of ammo for that. And activate our perfect reload. I can already see 2 red bushes up ahead, so we're gonna do the same thing here, and we're gonna propel ourselves into that corner. This game has a weird bug with its checkpoint system, where some of the time it'll just like generalize where you're supposed to be respawned. So if I jump into this corner here and reload the checkpoint, I'm gonna be put on the other side of this barrier. Normally you'd have to fight the first boss to get past this barrier, but by doing this, I can just skip it, which saves a lot of time and doesn't give me any golden acorns or any like required progression. So now we're in the tough streets as opposed to the mean streets. Gonna jump up here, grab this golden acorn. Gonna try and get one of these guys so I can get a reload. There it is. And now if you remember the car from earlier, it's just over here. And it's not like locked or anything. It assumes you already have it to get to this area. And now we can call the car whenever we want. We couldn't do that until activating it there or at the first spot.
That makes sense.
And now we're at the matrimonious
Squirrel on
place.
the car with a gun. We are so lucky here at GDQ.
Oh, we're gonna get even luckier.
Ooh, I can't wait.
I had to knock down the groom because he got he had a little bit too much fun at the party in this house the night before. I'm gonna grab the reload wedge here. See if I remember this, because some of the times I get this wrong and feel a little silly for it. The hint for this puzzle is down below in the room that we're not going to enter because it is slow and there's only 1 golden acorn in there. Where that pole normally opens the floor below it. I think this is right. Can I stand on it? I forget. All right, I'm pretty sure it's this way then.
I love puzzles.
I love puzzles that I don't remember the answer to, even though it's just match 3. Okay. There we go. It was one of the 2 in my mind. I just forgot on the spot. That's my fault. Anyways, we're gonna get the 2 acorns here. We're gonna get the 1 in here. And then by knocking the groom off the top platform, he joins the bride and we save the wedding, so we get another golden acorn here. I'm gonna activate a perfect reload. Let's go, love. Get another reload there, and then just kind of propel myself with the gun in the car over to the Yeehaw zone, where we're gonna get another section of golden acorns. I'm gonna go over here. I can knock down the sign from here, can't I? And then go inside. There we go. Knock down the sign. That'll give me a golden acorn later. I'm going to get rid of everybody in here. Then we're gonna go up top and grab the 2. We're gonna grab 2 acorns. There's just 1 resting up top because there's usually 1 on top of every high place in this game. And then we're gonna grab the 1 that I got for knocking down the sign. But first, I gotta get rid of everyone in here. I have to remember to open up that cash register as well. because anything that's golden generally relates to a golden acorn in this game. So there is the golden acorn up top. So we'll get those two after we... You mind? You're not necessary. I don't have to fight you. That should knock him enough so he doesn't do anything crazy. I'm gonna perfect reload. There we go. I want to try to knock this guy down while yeah, perfect. The shotgun enemies are some of the most dangerous in the game, along with SMG enemies. They can just ragdoll you and send you flying, and we don't want that for the squirrel.
Definitely not.
Now we're gonna get to
in the making of this run.
We're gonna get to a little bit of a complex part of the run, so I'm gonna do my best to explain it. Really quickly, the first glitch is I'm gonna grab the football and then re-grab the football, and by doing that, I got rid of the invisible barriers that surround the football field, which allows me to throw a field goal before entering the barriers, which is something that I'm kind of supposed to do in reverse order. And now I can grab the football again, and now I'm stuck inside this invisible barrier. But there's a glitch with the football helmet that's behind me that allows me to escape. There's gonna be a little bit of a flashing lights warning here because I'm gonna clip through the floor, and if I don't get through, some of the time it's a little bit unfortunate and just kind of like flashes on the screen. Seems like I did all right. I'm trying to orient myself right so I can... There we go, perfect.
I don't think I've ever turned on any football game, and it's looked like this before. This is awesome.
So I clipped out, and I clipped back to the last location that the car spawned, which was outside of the football field, so I don't have to take that fight. It's just a little bit of a faster way to get out of there. Since the golden acorn already spawns, I don't have to go down there.
Field goal.
Now we got to get the touchdown that we got for driving our car across the field.
Nice.
And now I'm going to do the same thing again. So again, flashing lights warning to clip out. And if I go far enough out, hopefully, if I go far enough out of the map, it should attempt to respawn me, yes, back in Mean Streets, which is good because we need to be here to get to the final zone. But first, we need to find the jogger, who should be running around the neighborhood somewhere. I have to be careful with my pathing because there is a cutscene trigger a little bit farther down. All right, perfect. So we're going to run to the jogger, break our ankles now that we have the car, because we couldn't do that before. That gets me a golden acorn. And now, one last time, there's going to be a flashing lights warning. I'm going to run up to the bushes over there, and I'm going to clip out and try and clip back in. I'm going to try and clip back inbounds first, but if not, I can just go far enough down, and there's a little bit of water that kind of catches me, and I can use that to kind of walk my way into this area. That should be good. So now this is the final area of the game. So we're supposed to have purchased a boat to get here and purchased a car, but we've done neither. So the last bit of our golden acorns are going to be spent buying the one vehicle that we do need to complete this run, which is the drone. All right. Normally the Call Your Car app should bring the car to you, but apparently I guess the out of bounds car was close enough that I'm just going to have to walk this, which is a little silly, but all right. So I'm going to jump into this pipe, which is supposed to take me back to Tough Streets, which is that second area with the football field that we just glitched out of. But by pausing and loading the autosave that just triggered there, I can get back to the area before. Huh. That's new. All right, well, we're going to have to go clip out of bounds again. I think I saved a little bit too early. The autosave, despite being on screen, did not trigger. So it put me outside the water park. So we're going to go back in, grab the football helmet. We don't have to do everything we did before. We can just grab the helmet really quickly. That's not a problem. So we'll have to clip out 2 more times, but we won't have to do everything we did back at the football field. We're just going to have to grab the car, go back to the football field, go back over to the edge of the map and clip back to the streets, and then come on, give me the helmet. Thank you. All right, warning again. I'm looking to go as far away from the map as I possibly can. It looks like I'm currently back under the map, which is not where I want to be. So I'm trying. I don't have much control over this, by the way. That's worth noting. So I'm trying to go far enough out.
Are squirrel shaped. Acorn shaped.
Yeah, the clouds are really cute. All right. Now we can get out of the car, which will just fix all the weird collision jank that's happening.
I'm jamming out to this music, by the way, chat.
Oh, the music is really silly. Just wait till we get to the boss fight. It's a shame we only hear that track once. All right, let's clip back in. I am going to have to go in the drainage pipe again. Looks like the game's trying to, clip me back in above, which can work, but I'm just going to play it safe and go down again. I'm going to have to use this tree to get back in bounds again, because for some reason when you climb onto the tree, it just kind of clips you back in. All right, I'm going to be a little more patient with the autosave this time and make sure that I see that the autosave is correct, because it will show me a thumbnail of where it last saved. Let's see, is the car far enough away this time? All right, at least you don't have to walk it. You get a little bit of time saved. A little bit. As a treat. If I can get out of the pool. Okay. So yeah, this is the final area of the game. We're just going to get a couple more golden acorns here, and then we're going to clip through a door. That's 29. There we go. So now it says waterway, and I've got 29 acorns. So there we go. All right. So now we're back. We're going to call the car again. Loading the save there is essential as opposed to loading the checkpoint. Loading the save resets the entire map, which allows me to do something later on, get a specific acorn I wasn't able to earlier. Also, let's go rainbow car.
Let's go rainbow car?
That is a pure random chance, and the car is now rainbow.
Let's go.
So here's the final section of the route where I'm just going to be grabbing all these golden acorns. Got to take the fun ramp. And get rid of one of these guys, and hopefully, that gives me a pine cone. The pine cones give me that reload energy. I don't need to get over here, but I do need to take these guys out, because otherwise it's just kind of difficult.
Why are their heads so large?
Normally you're supposed to take this section with a sniper rifle, because of course this game is a sniper rifle. Mm-hmm. Which is over there, which is where the acorn spawned. So we're gonna go over there and grab that. I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. This is a little bit precise. I can make it? No. That's fine. I can make it back later. That acorn is more important to get because it's just kind of floating there. So it's a little bit out of my way. I'm going to get an SMG that has more ammo, so even if I don't have any reloads, it should be able to just get me up there. Activated the grenade behind me, run! We're good. Yeah, sometimes their bad aim actually pays off. For them, at least. So now, there's the acorn there. There's one for doing a rocket jump here. Promoting good gamer behavior. So this is the SMG, one of the final weapons I'm hopefully going to have to buy. I might have to buy one more, another rocket launcher. But now I can go back up here to grab this with much more ammunition than the other one. The SMGs dropped by enemies generally don't have as much ammunition as the one that the squirrel can purchase or find throughout the map. So we're gonna grab this one. Then I'm going to use a reload to launch myself over to those guys with the purple suits. The purple suits are rocket launcher enemies. So I'm going to use this reload circle, which will just constantly refill my ammunition to take care of them, which spawns another acorn.
Helpful. I'd like one of those for like chocolate.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
Stand in it and, you know, infinite chocolate.
We're gonna throw the rocket launcher down there. I don't like where that landed. I want it to land in front of the door. That seems okay. Yeah, it didn't look like it went in the pool. All right, we're good. We're gonna use that later. That's a surprise tool that will help us later. So now we got to take care of all the golden agents. This, again, because they're golden, will give me a golden acorn. So just take care of these guys as quickly as possible without getting knocked off. That should be the last one. And this is where loading the save is kind of important. There we go. The crosshair was on him, it just didn't happen. Loading the save allows me to fight those guys and have the golden acorn spawn. The game doesn't think you've killed all of them if you don't. So if you don't reload the save there. So yeah, it's a little bit weird. Normally the area would reload for a couple reasons in a normal playthrough, so I don't think you have to do that in a normal playthrough. But in our case, because of how weird we've taken this game and kind of gone to every area without having access to any of the areas, understandably it's a little bit messy. Right now I'm turning all the pumpkins into jack-o'-lanterns, which is useful for two reasons. One, it gives me golden acorn here. Two, if I can propel one, I'm not gonna propel it. I'm just gonna. We're gonna go over to the spooky house and hopefully do another little tiny glitch here. Once I grab that, that's 39, and hopefully not have to run back over and grab a second pumpkin. But by throwing the pumpkin precisely in between these two, that might not have done it. Yeah, unfortunate. Okay, so we'll have to run back. You're supposed to grab two pumpkins and obviously put them on the pedestals. If you throw it right, you can trick the game into thinking you threw two when you threw one. I'm gonna re-grab the SMG here. I have extra money, so I can do that.
That would be a trick and treat if the game believed it.
It would be. It really would be. But unfortunately, it's a little bit precise. I thought I had the lineup, but I guess it was a little bit off. Now I've thrown two. We're not going to go in the spooky house. That is a different sub area. Thank you. And so we're going to head over back to where I threw the rocket launcher and hopefully enter the final area of the game. This was a trick that was found this week by Squirrel Pascals that kind of expands on something that Sebula and Horizon found. Those are the two other, I would say, main runners of this game. Sebula being a leaderboard moderator and very good glitch hunter, Squirrel being the one who ran this at any percent. Or ran any percent at GDQ. Forgive me, my brain is all over the place right now trying to make sure this doesn't get messed up. This door is supposed to activate with 5 buttons, but if I get this right, I just get shot through and get through the door that I'm supposed to open with 5 buttons.
Nice.
So yeah, shout out to Squirrel for getting that one. This is now going to be the final area of the game. Or the second to last, I guess. I'm going to quickly lower my frame rate because the drone on this version of the game and on this version of the game, I'll say only, but like older versions of the game, responds to your frame rate and how fast you can move. I'm going to go over to the corner and do one final real glitch where I'm just going to pause and hold up and right. By holding up and right, the game is still storing the movement. So I'm essentially, once I do this for a long enough time, I'm talking like this so I can stall, so I can eventually clip out of bounds. But once I do this for long enough time, I can just clip out of bounds. It takes a lot to go through a solid wall, so it might look like I overshot that, but realistically, it was only a little bit of an overshot. It just takes a lot to get through that solid wall. And this skips having to fight everyone in the tower and pass 2 normal barriers and take 3 fights. And that is the clip into the final boss fight. This boss fight does take a while, but just for the sake of me being able to talk during it, time will be when the helicopter enters the lava. We'll have a little bit of build up and I'll try and call it, but...
That's quite the spoiler.
Well, I mean, it was about 5 seconds of spoiler.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Heckfire missiles. Let's go Heckfire.
Oh no.
And now we have to fight the 2 bosses that we were supposed to meet earlier, but I skipped all the cutscenes. Like, I just skipped past them. We didn't skip them. They're little triggers throughout the map that we just ignored. So that is Father and Mother. We were supposed to fight Father to get access to Tough Streets, the second area. And Mother's fight is here. But I'm just going to let the soundtrack play for as much as I can. It will restart every time I fire too many bullets, another glitch with this version of the game. But if I just tap fire, hopefully it won't reset. So yeah, I'll let this play out while I just kind of shoot the weak spots and then shoot the agents inside to progress the boss fight.
Whispering, jammy.
So yeah, if you wanted metal, you wanted a metal boss theme with lyrics talking about a squirrel taking their shot, this is the game for you. I've kind of broken this game in half with. I've broken this game in half with all the glitches. Like, I've basically skipped over a majority of it. This is a very fun, casual game. I highly recommend it. They just released new content literally this week. I was practicing, and they released an update. Which is funny. Thank you, helicopter. They released a gravity gun, which is fun to mess with in its own little area, and then you unlock access to it in the rest of the game. So I mentioned before that we have a sniper rifle. I'm going to grab it here because it is my preferred weapon for this fight, at least for this section of the fight. It's a little bit of a shaky camera, but if I hit the shots, it does one-shot everything on the helicopter. It's just a little bit shaky and hard to see. There we go. Okay, that's the end of the shaky cam. And now one more phase of taking these guys out, and we are going to get close to time here because I'm going to get the drone back. I'm not going to relower my frame rate. I turned it back up during this loading scene. The actual movement of the drone here does not matter too much, but there's going to be a new weak spot on the center of the helicopter rotors. And once I get rid of that, the helicopter will fall into the lava, and time will be when the helicopter reaches the lava. I gotta try and hit that weak spot. There we go. It's not going in the lava. And time. Yeah, some of the time the physics objects in this game get a little mixed up. It's supposed to fall into the lava, but I guess it just didn't want to. So we have one final little cutscene here, and yeah, that is Squirrel with a Gun, the any % speedrun.
That was beautiful. Thank you for showing that to everyone.
Absolutely, I love this game so much. It's so silly. Like, even the cutscenes, I skipped over most of them, but they're so good.
Yeah,
like, how could you hate that? It's so funny. A little bit unfortunate that I had to retread to get the helmet again when that load save failed, but it's a quick enough detour. We still came in way under estimate, so that's nice.
No, that was plenty quick. You did a fantastic job adapting to that.
Thank you. So yeah, that's Squirrel with a Gun. This game is...
Yeah, go ahead.
This game is
closing thoughts.
Sure. This game is on Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation 5. Sorry, Nintendo Switch. Maybe the Switch 2. But this game is made in Unreal Engine 5, and I'm running on the lowest settings to make this work for a marathon. But this game is really fun. They keep producing new content. There's going to be a few more content updates. I don't exactly know what else they have in mind other than cosmetics, but there is some other stuff in their roadmap. Go get this game. It's very fun. Shout out again to Sabulan Horizon and Squirrels Pascal, who helped to make this run what it is. This game is really silly, really fun. To find me, look for me at isomfly556 on Twitter, on Twitch, isomfly.bsky.social, and on YouTube, I forget all the numbers that it adds onto it, but if you look up Isomfly and find a Super Monkey Ball runner, that is my main game. I mainly play Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania with this on the side, and a couple other things. So yeah, that's where you can find me. Again, thank you so much, Satan, for having me on for this run. I always love showing off any % because it's just such a good run, because there's so many different things that come together to make this game just as silly as it is. And it's, to me, it's one of those like perfect any % runs where it's not completely destroyed, but there are a good number of glitches, so it really like owns that title.
Yeah, absolutely. I was really glad that we were able to work out any % for this show tonight, and that you were able to show it. It was fantastic. Chat loved it. I loved it. It was a great way to
Let's go.
The evening. And yeah, that's gonna do it for Creature Corner tonight, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. And before we go, I'd like to give a quick shout out that Games Done Quick is hiring. If you love creative work and have experience in planning and organizing, apply to be a prize assistant at our mainline events. Visit gamesdonequick.com/jobs by May 11th to apply. And yeah, that's gonna be it for us. If you missed out on Out of the Box or Creature Corner, stay tuned as we replay both shows after this, and tune in Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern for Do All the Things and Parallel Universe. Thank you!